subscribe. Subscribe to my guy, Uncle D. Tell him Big Bad sent you.
Dennis Sterling. I'm an attorney here in Houston, Texas, an advocate for black men, largely because I am a black man. I'm a black father, I have black sons. Hey man, I do what I do.
What's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome, everybody. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, man. This is Dennis Sterling, man. We coming back for a hot one. I want to give a big shout out to all my members. Shout out to Lex No Luther. Big up to you, man. Shout out to Mr. 43TX. Shout out to all my guys in here, man. I know we're a little late tonight. We usually come on at 7. Okay, but Uncle D had prayer service. Hallelujah. I got this fresh cut too, baby. I'm feeling myself out here in these streets, baby. You better watch it. You better watch yourself, man. But anyway, man, I'd like to thank everybody for coming through, man. We're going to have a good conversation here this evening, okay, this afternoon, this morning, wherever you are. My name is also known as the Blizzard King. You know, the reason I'm the Blizzard King is because I spit this cold, hard truth, whether people like it or not. And it doesn't really particularly matter to me if you do or if you don't. I just think it's necessary because truth, when you have truth, then the Most High is present. Now, that being the case, hot boy Donald Trump has decided, hallelujah, he has decided it is time to do some deportation mechanizations. And he just announced that the temporary protected status of the Haitian people from the island of Haiti has been revocated. Okay, it's been revoked. I mean, since he's been back in office since January 20th, 2025, Donald Trump, I mean, within a matter of hours, he had ICE out there cracking heads and sending folk home. All right, and he promised massive deportations, and it looks to me like he's going to do everything he possibly can to get that done. Now, these folks, he's now targeting people with what is called temporary protected status. In other words, they came here and Joe Biden under his administration said you can have temporary protected status. Temporary, okay? Temporary implies not forever, okay? But apparently these 500,000 Haitians have relied on this temporary protected status extension for years now, okay? And now it's on the chopping block, okay? The Biden administration gave him an additional 18 months of protection right before he left the office. And hot boy Donald Trump just said, no, no, player, you out of here. And so instead of it ended 18 months from now, it's going to end on August 3rd, which is approximately 6 months from now. And so now you got Haitians out here panicking. We want to do a go back. There, you got to go. You're going to go. But nevertheless, you know, Haitians were never meant to stay indefinitely, just like the rest of these folks. Yet for decades, they, like many other immigrants, milked the system. They banked on the sympathy of the previous administrations to avoid going back. And well, you know, Trump is a different kind of dude. He's not playing that game. And he's, you know, he shut down the border. Mass deportation. Shout out to, I can't say that name, TW man, deep speed. Can't say it. Not gonna try it. I'm gonna just call you MTC. Shout out to AMTC. Thank you, man. I'm gonna give a shout out to you because you're the first one to contribute to the super chat. So big up, man. Big up to you for being first up to bat. But so anyway, you know, Trump is not having it. He's into these mass deportations, and I forgot to put my Cash App up. Let me get that Cash App up. And nevertheless, the temporary protected status is no longer going to be an indefinite loophole to stay here forever. Now, the question we have to ask ourselves is, where is the outrage from the foundational Black American family? Now, if you don't know what foundational Black American is, just add foundation on to Black American. And that's pretty much what it is. For the most part, it establishes that there was a group of Africans or people of African descent who were here in this country prior to its establishment, who were here at the foundation, who helped create the foundation for this country. And those people have decided to delineate themselves from the immigrant Black American community, or the African Black American community, or the Caribbean Black American community, okay? Now, you would think that because they share, or we share this common ancestry, that there would be some sort of outrage, okay? But now you don't see any, you see? It's very interesting. Where's the solidarity? Where did the love go? It's just another TKO. Where'd the love go? Where did the love go? You see what I'm saying? And here's the problem. See, for years, these Haitian migrants, remember back a few years ago when the Haitian migrants were being rounded up on the Texas border, and the Border Patrol was on the horseback with the little whip. Get over here, boy, get over here. I mean, he was trying to be like his great granddaddy or something like that. It appeared like they were whipping him. Well, it was foundational Black Americans that spoke up. We applied pressure. We forced the Biden administration to back down, and we got results. Okay, but this time there was no mass protests, no viral hashtags, no FBA leaders stepping up to demand change. What you have right now for most foundational Black Americans is silence. Okay, shout out to Wrench Turner. We got silence. And the question is why? Why? And the Haitians have to, you know, and I'm going to tell you why. It's because the Haitians haven't shown any solidarity with Black folks, foundational Black Americans. That's the simple question. See, Haitians as a group have never stood with FBAs for any distinct period of time. And it's just time to tell the truth about their behavior. They've been disrespectful. Haitians distance themselves, like many other Africans and people of African descent, Caribbean descent. They distance themselves from Black Americans. They proudly claim, I'm not Haitian, I'm Black, and you Black as hell. But you talk about you ain't Black, you are Black as hell. Okay? I'm not saying, I'm pointing it out. All right? Right? Yeah, they act as though FBA culture is beneath them, right? They practice these exclusionary practices. Haitians, you refuse to align yourself with the FBA struggles. You prefer to carve out your own identity. Well, you know, you enjoy the benefits of what FBA activism has done, right? And secure, but you want to be on your own. So you straddling the fence, okay? You even have enclaves of Haitians in America who've been hostile to foundational Black Americans, whether we talk about up in New Jersey from about 6-7 years ago, maybe a little bit more, separate in political, cultural groups. You exclude Black Americans. And guess what? Foundational Black Americans, we have taken note of that. The word has spread, okay? The gossip mill has been working. And so that's why you have so many foundational Black Americans just standing down. No solidarity, no support, okay? And for years, FBAs fought for immigrants' rights, including Haitians, but now we're choosing not to engage. Why? Because support is a two-way street. And when FBAs need solidarity, where was the Haitian community? And now Haitians need help. Y'all need some help. Don't get it twisted. You think we're gonna fight for you? Not this time. Okay, not this time. See, if Haitians wanted solidarity when their backs against the wall, they needed to show solidarity when FBAs were fighting their battles. Because when FBAs chose to be silent, like right now, the silence is definite. Now let's go ahead and examine some of this hooting and hollering that I've been able to find on the internet. Let's start with the fact that you have these news reports. I want you to hear what these folks are saying. It's like, man, listen to this.
This Haitian American community is urging the U.S. government to reconsider the decision to remove temporary protected status for hundreds of thousands of people. Without TPS, more than 500,000 Haitians would be at risk of deportation. Good evening.
500,000.
I'm Elliot Rodriguez.
And I'm Lauren Pastrana. Thank you for joining us. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor joins us live now from Little Haiti. And Yvonne, activists insist that going back to Haiti is not a safe option for many families.
That's what we heard from everybody here, Elliot and Lauren. In fact, I talked to a girl right here who told me, I want my face to be seen.
Now, I want you to hear that. Their main issue is that it's not a safe place to go back to. Okay? Just keep that in mind. And the question you should be asking yourself is, why is it not safe to go back to? All right, let's go.
I don't care about giving you my name because I have nothing to hide. I'm not a criminal. But the reality is that in 6 months, she could be deported. And that is one of the reasons why they are going to file a lawsuit against the Trump administration.
In 6 months, you will be deported, ma'am. You shall. Okay. You have Donald Trump and you shall be deported. I just want you to know that, but go ahead.
I am a TPS recipient. And
shout out to Penny Ford. What's up, baby girl? Good to see you up in here. Let's listen to, she says she's a TPS recipient. Go ahead.
I am legal.
That is how 25-year-old Tasha feels.
500,000 Haitians.
I want y'all to see something. Look.
Administration announced.
Look, hold on a minute. I don't want to say nothing.
And I am legal.
That is how 25-year-old Tasha feels.
She's a large lady. Now we might be able to keep her. I'm just saying we might be able to go on here and call Mississippi State. And I'm sure they're having tryouts, okay, for defensive tackle. I'm sure. Because I'm looking at that mobility. She got long arms, she got good shoulders right there. I'm just saying. Because I mean, this man standing next to her is I mean, she definitely, I mean, look, Donald Trump said no men can play in women's sports, but he never said anything about women not playing in men's sports. Okay. And I feel like if we put her on Mississippi, put it down there with the Bulldogs, get it down in the 4-point stand. Okay. Right. With them shoulders like that, that's solid. It's giving, right? Is that what they say? Giving, that's what y'all say. It's giving Warren Sapp, okay? Built low to the ground, wide upper body, long arms. Oh man, she gonna rip right around the outside linebacker. I mean, right outside the left tackle. I feel I'm gonna get back to that in a minute, but that's strong right there. And then you know what? Get you that little student visa, get you a scholarship. We can keep you here in the country, baby. We keep you in the country. I'm trying to help you out, baby. Let's go.
24 hours after the Trump administration announced it's rolling back the 18-month protection of TPS for her and at least 500,000 other Haitians in the U.S.
Which is sending us Haitians back home.
That's home.
Would mean sending us to a non-livable country.
Friday morning at a press conference in Little Haiti, the unsafe conditions of Haiti were mentioned by several speakers, while other people were holding signs, "Do not divide our family."
The unsafe conditions. Why is it unsafe? Let's keep listening.
To send them back to a country still grappling with the aftermath of a devastating earthquake, political unrest, and economic hardship.
Earthquake, political unrest, and hardship. So you mean every time your country has an earthquake, y'all just gonna come here? That's what you're saying? Surely something can be done. What about this political unrest? Okay, you might have missed one or two in there, but let's go ahead.
It's both inhumane.
It's inhumane.
And unjust.
About the decision to roll.
It's inhumane and unjust to send us Haitians back to Haiti with those Haitians. That's basically what you're saying. Shout out to Black said. That's what you're telling us? It's unjust for our government to say no more temporary means temporary and to send you back to your country with your countrymen. You got your flag up. You know where you got your flag up, right? But let's go ahead and listen. Go ahead.
But TPS for Haiti, Homeland Security said through a statement, for decades the TPS system has been exploited and abused. For example, Haiti has been designated for TPS since 2010. The data shows
they've been temporary for 15 years. That means you 15, now you're 30. Okay, if you're 45, now you're 50, 60. Temporary means temporary. How long should temporary last? Okay. Would you mean temporary as a generation, a lifetime? How long do the American public have to pay for you? That's the question that we're asking ourselves. Okay. And the other question is, why are foundational Black Americans not in uproar with all our African brethren and sisters from Haiti being returned to Haiti? Huh? Why? Why are we not in an uproar? Let's keep listening.
Each extension of the country's TPS designation allow more Haitian nationals, even those who enter the U.S. illegally, to qualify for legal protected status.
You look at the document that they submitted yesterday.
You mean the government? They? Go ahead, sir.
To talk about why they're shortening the time period for Haiti. There is not one.
Man seemed like he been sipping a little. There you are. He seemed like he been sipping a little bit. But go ahead, go.
One word in there. Not one word about the conditions in Haiti. And that's what temporary protected status is about.
Immigration attorney Ira Kurzban said that was one of the reasons the Haitian community would sue the Trump administration.
It's not going to work.
You can't find those millions of people who are criminals. It's taking legal people who have legal status here, taking it away from them so he can fulfill his promise.
Look, Ira, look, I know you're trying to get a little last minute money for those folks leave, but temporary means temporary. How long should temporary last? Temporary does not mean forever, Ira. Okay? All right, go ahead.
August of 2025. What's going to happen to you?
I don't know.
You going back to Haiti. That's what's going to happen, baby. You're going to go back to Haiti. That's what's going to happen to you, ma'am. You're going to go back to Haiti. That's what's going to happen.
I don't know. There's no other solution, and I'm not looking for other solution.
Maybe go to Canada. I don't know what you could do.
It will mean for me to go back home.
It's home. Why wouldn't you want to go home?
So Haitian activists said here today that as many as, listen to this, 520,000 Haitians, the exact figure, which means more than half.
Haitian American community is urging the U.S. government to reconsider the decision to remove temporary protected status for hundreds of thousands of people. Without TPS, more than 500,000 Haitians would be at risk of deportation.
Y'all going home?
Good evening, I'm Elliot Rodriguez.
And I'm Lauren Pastrana. Thank you for joining us. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor joins us live now from Little Haiti. And Yvonne, activists insist that going back to Haiti is not a safe option for many families.
I just talked to. Hold on a minute. Let's see. We messed around and got a repeat. That's the same dude. Hold on a minute. Let me go ahead and rehash my usage here. Make sure let's see what else we got to say about it.
Protected status, roughly 500,000 Haitians in the U.S.
Yeah, Massachusetts is home to the third largest Haitian population. The protection shielded people from deportation. Boston 25 News reporter Drew Caritas is live outside the Haitian.
So they're in Miami and Boston. Y'all just letting Tom Holman know where y'all are. That's all you're doing. You just letting Tom Holman know where you are. That's it. But go ahead.
Consulate in downtown Crossing. Drew?
Rachel, the Trump administration has rolled back an 18-month extension of deportation protection, stripping hundreds of thousands of Haitian immigrants of their protected status by August. The General Consulate of Haiti here in downtown Crossing and advocates across the Boston area are now being flooded with uncertainty and anxiety.
And it does this country no good to try to ship people back to a dangerous country like Haiti.
What you mean it does this country no good to ship these people back to the dangerous country? Why is the country dangerous? I mean, why is the country dangerous? Because earthquake that happened when? A couple of years back? Why is the country dangerous? That's the question that we need to answer. Okay, because see, we can't fix all of these problems. If the country's dangerous now, it's going to become dangerous in 10 years, which means that these folks are still going to keep coming here. And the American taxpayers are tired of footing the bill for everybody else. And that's what I don't think people understand. Nevertheless, the question is, why are Black Americans indifferent to these 500,000 Haitians being deported back to Haiti? Aren't they Black? They Black, right? Aren't we always, you can always get us angry because something bad is happening to Black people. But the question is, why not now?
A
Let's keep
directive to
listening.
push more than 500,000 Haitians out of the United
That's what they're
States
gonna do.
in less than 6 months is being called unrealistic and unfair
I
by
bet they
Jeff
try.
Fieldman with the International Institute of New England.
You will see communities ripped apart. You will see families ripped apart. They followed legal pathways.
That's probably the point, to see communities ripped apart and families ripped apart, sir. I think that's the whole point. But again, they came up here instead of staying in their country. And I think that's the way the general public feels.
To get here, they did everything that they were supposed to do.
The Department of Homeland Security says about 57,000 Haitians registered for temporary protected status following a devastating 7.0 magnitude earthquake in 2010.
So the earthquake happened in 2010. Okay? The earthquake happened in 2010. And it's 2015. 15 years. Y'all haven't rebuilt in 15 years. Maybe there's something else going on.
That status was renewed under the Biden administration in 2021 amid civil unrest after the assassination of Haiti's president.
This will have disastrous consequences for them. These are people that have been here, some since 2010. A lot of them have had U.S. citizen children here in the U.S.
Under the Biden.
That's why they're trying to get rid of that whole 14th Amendment anchor baby thing. Okay? Because they come over here, have children, then they can apply for status, protected status, and, you know, stay longer, right?
Administration, Haiti's temporary protected status was extended through February 3rd, 2026, but protection from deportation and work permits are now set to end on August 3rd of this.
So those good jobs that y'all have in Massachusetts and Miami that you were taking from legal immigrants and Americans, that's a wrap. That's basically what he's saying. It's a wrap on that. You can't work and you got to go home. And I don't see why that's not fair. You've had 15 years living in our country. You've had 15 years to make other accommodations. How many more? You need another 15 years?
Year.
They knew what it was when they came here on temporary. It says right on it, temporary.
Tell them, Murray.
It was temporary.
Temporary.
Temporary is over.
Let me tell you about Boston. Boston is one of the most racist states, racist cities in America. They're real passive with it. I've been up to Boston right there. You can cut the racism in the air in Boston. It's just Bostonish. Anybody in Boston knows exactly what I'm talking about. Boston is the most racist city in America as far as I'm concerned. And Murray, right here, Mr. Murray, he's letting you know. Come on, Murray. You just go ahead. Let's talk to him. Listen to Murray for a minute.
Temporary. It says right on it. Temporary.
Temporary.
It was temporary.
All right?
And
temporary. Not forever.
Murray, chairman of Bostonians Against Sanctuary Cities, is applauding the Trump administration.
Bostonians Against Immigrants. That's basically what this called. Go ahead.
For following through on mass deportation promises and scaling back the use of temporary protected status.
The Haitians have had a chance now since the...
They've had a chance. They haven't left. We gave them a chance. They should have went to California a long time ago, but they're still here. All right? They gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta go.
2010 earthquake to kind of get their act together. And
he said, when white people say get your act together, they really wanted to say get your together. Okay, get your crap together, round it up, and go back to your country. All right, that's what I'm saying.
Now we have a chance they can go back safely and rebuild their lives.
They can go back safely to their country.
The president of the International Institute of New England says his organization has served 16,000 people from Haiti over the last 2 years. Critics say they believe the intent of temporary protected status was manipulated and point out that it was never meant to be a long-term path to citizenship. We're live in downtown Crossing tonight. Drew Correa, your local station, Boston 25.
You gotta go.
The decision sent dozens of Haitians back to Haiti.
Local leaders gathered to condemn the decision to resume deporting people back to the country in crisis. CBS News Miami's Tanya Francois has the latest from Little Haiti.
You going back?
52 Haitians were flown back to the island that's been in turmoil for months due to ongoing gang violence.
Gang violence. Oh, gang violence. Oh, we're getting close. Okay, gang violence. Whose problem is that? Shout out to Cody and shout out to Black Sand. Gang violence.
Local officials here in South Florida, they're asking the Biden administration to stop those deportations.
Oh, this is old. This is old. But so gang violence. So they're running from gang violence. That's what you're saying. You're running from gang violence. Are they who are the gang members comprised of? Huh? Does your superior culture just allow people to just be roving gangs and run people out? Because I mean, you all have a superior culture than us, Black Americans, right? You got superior culture than us, right? Right. So let's listen more. Let's hear more.
Lucy Janvier explains to me in Creole, if her temporary protective status ends, she will have nowhere to go.
No, you can go back to Haiti. That's where you can go, ma'am. You can go back to Haiti. I speak French. I speak Creole. I speak English. You go back to Haiti. That's where you're going to go, back to Haiti. Okay, I speak Creole. That's where you're going to go. You have to pay to go home. Shout out to Black Sand.
Lucy has called Miami home since 2004.
You've been here since 2004. You've been here in 2004. You have to go back to Haiti. Okay, and speak your Creole there.
She's one of the 220 to 250,000 Haitians living in the United States.
So it was 250,000 back then. Okay, now it's 500,000. Joe Biden let another 250,000 in. That's what's happening.
Under temporary protective status, or TPS. That status expires on August 3rd.
We went past it. Yes, I'm afraid.
I'm afraid.
Angelus has been here since November.
They have beautiful names. Angelus.
Still can't legally.
I love the name. Beautiful names. Beautiful. Angelus is my name. I'm working on that accent.
So he feeds himself by doing odd jobs. He says he too cannot go back to Haiti.
You can go back to Haiti. You can't go back to Haiti. You can't go back. Just go take a flight and go back. If one cannot be afforded for you, then Tom Holman will pay for a ticket for you to go back to Haiti. Just saying. You can't go back.
Haiti is very dangerous with no.
Why is it dangerous? Why is dangerous? Because of gang members. That doesn't sound like the problem is earthquakes and typhoons and stuff like that. It sounds like y'all have an internal problem to me.
Since the president died, the entire country has been at a standstill.
At a news conference held by the Family Action Network movement Tuesday morning, the room was packed with Haitians, all with similar stories.
We cannot go back. Yes, you can go back.
And an end to deportation.
No, it's not. We're just getting started. It's not going to end soon. We are just getting started now. Okay? Just saying, let's listen to this little lady.
By the Biden administration,
It's repulsive.
It is heartless. It is.
How you gonna be in our country telling us what's repulsive and heartless?
And it is unconscionable, and I might add, it is even criminal.
Well, criminal? You mean we gave you temporary status to stay here and revoking it is criminal? It's criminal? Is that what you're saying? It's criminal. Okay.
And this person was has U.S. citizen.
Shout out to Mercer Panama.
Has been living in the United States for decades. What pushed the government to remove one of our clients?
Lucy hopes she won't end up forcibly returned back to Haiti.
Yeah.
She explained.
Now I want you to keep in mind, these are the same people that have horrible things to say about foundational Black Americans. They say we have no culture. They say we violent. They say all these things about us. And so now you have an opportunity to return back to your superior culture. And for whatever reason, you said you're not going to return. What happened to all that energy you had? I thought you didn't like us. You come up here, you cosplay foundational Black Americans, you pretend like you're us, you reap our benefits, and you show us nothing but disrespect. And at this point, Black folks in America, foundational Black Americans, are really tired of it. We're tired of the Haitians. We're tired of the Africans. We're tired of the Latinos. We're tired of the Asians. We're tired of the Arabs. All of y'all came over here to live under the protection that we provided, and you've been disrespectful. You all have practiced some form of anti-foundational Black American hate, whether it be racism, because you want to be adjacent to whiteness, or whether it be intra-hate. And I'm talking about all of the Black Caribbeans, all of the Africans, Now, I know you might have some individual friends and such you cool with and everything, but you've been very disrespectful. And so you wonder why black people are not running to your aid while all you see is Haitians out there. Let me explain something to you how American works. There's white, there's black, and then there's foreigner. If you are not white, okay, if you are not black American, then you are a foreigner. And if you are a foreigner, then you are of the lowest social status in this country, period. I know it sounds xenophobic, but welcome to America. That is why it is always a black and white conversation when it comes to race in the United States. And that may be difficult for many of you all to hear because I know you count yourselves as, more important than you are. But here in the United States, that's just the reality. And so unless you have some foundational black Americans folks speaking on behalf of these people of African descent who are from Haiti, nobody's going to listen. Nobody is listening to you. I can tell you that now. Absolutely nobody cares. They barely understand what you're saying. The minute you open your mouth, they see that you're a foreigner. You are thereafter expendable. Matter of fact, you should be deported. Hell, we want to deport some of the people we have here right now. So that's where you are. You didn't spend your time over here making foundational black American friends. You spent your time over here making enemies.
She's worked in Miami for 20 years, building a life here. She says, if I don't have TPS, they won't give me residency. What am I to do? And I can't.
You're going to go home. That's what you're going to do, ma'am. You're going to go home.
And just today, we got word from Southcom that a military flight flew into Haiti's
now, for you all who have any questions as to why we feel this way, let's go ahead and start the looking in the listening.
Why it may be perceived that a lot of Haitians don't like African Americans. It is not so much of a they don't like them.
You come to our, you hear what she said? I want you to listen to this. Why Haitians don't like African Americans. And you come to our country to not like us. Let's listen. Go ahead, ma'am. Fair you.
That's why it may be perceived that a lot of Haitians don't like African Americans. It is not so much of a they don't like them per se. It's a more so of a cautious measure because of what they've heard or what they have experienced. Now, I do know Haitians that do genuinely just don't like African Americans. I'm gonna say that right now. Like those.
I just know generally Haitians that just don't like African Americans. Let me run that back. So you know Haitians. There's a little Haitian lady, and shout out to you. I forgot your little name, but I saw this on the internet. So you know Haitians that actually voice to you that they just straight up don't like foundational black American. Cool. Everybody in the chat room, right? Check. Okay.
They'll say it like, vieux black American, or these American this, American sayo, American sayo, they will drag them, okay? They'll say disrespectful things about African Americans all the time.
Okay, you hear? Are y'all listening to this?
Even my parents have said disrespectful things about African Americans.
My parents have said things about her parents, not one parent, both parents. So you raised like that. Everybody in the chat room, right? Okay, check. Go ahead.
That Haitian has. It's just the way they are. Like, what am I gonna say? Oh, don't say that about the black people. Like, especially as a kid. Like, what do I know? I'm just like, oh, okay.
I'm not gonna say anything to my parents about their intraracial disrespect towards black people. I wouldn't say that. Oh, so you just low-key kind of tacitly agreed, I guess, right?
But I never really associated it with, oh my God, I need to be afraid of black people because my parents said this. You know, like it's just, to me, I never perceived it that way, but I didn't have that bad of an experience. Yes, I got jumped.
I didn't have that bad of an experience. That means you kind of had a bad experience. So nevertheless, go ahead.
For absolutely no reason and all of that extra shit. But at the same time, I'm not about to just base my experience off of a couple bad apples that jumped me and bullied me and did all this bullshit. But that's just me.
All right, that's good. Well, let's see what else y'all been doing out here in these streets.
People.
I'm sorry, say again, sir.
People ask me if there's a difference between Haitians and African Americans. Sure.
Okay.
There's some big differences. Perfect example.
What are those differences?
Haitians be like,
they ain't parked. That look like Zoe on the side of the road right there.
Oh, there, that's over there. Let me stop him. Okay, let me pull up over there where you at. African Americans be like,
I think that's your best friend stuck on the side of the road.
Oh, that's my best friend over there. Okay, well if he's still there when we come through next week, I'll stop and pick him up.
Oh, so you think we don't take care of our own? You think we're disloyal? Y'all think y'all take care of our? Well, why would y'all can go take care of each other back in Haiti then? That's your impression. Now, nobody asked this young man to put this video up. Apparently that was on his mind. We seem to be on his mind. Okay, Playboy. All right. Good to know. Thank you very much. I appreciate you sharing that tidbit of information. Let's see what else we got out here. Okay.
Like immigrants do is flee away from danger. I love the idea of
I'm sorry.
Immigrants do is flee away from danger. I love the idea of go back to your country because there's this mentality that there's a claim to something. Your entire
hold on a minute. You heard what she just said. She basically said she's justifying. Well, that's what we do. We flee. Well, see, the thing is, Black Americans don't identify with that because we don't flee. We fight. But go ahead, ma'am.
Country is based off of people that fled. Like that is what people do.
No, we didn't flee to this country.
If it ain't working out there and the oppression is way too bad, they flee for better opportunities. Some people want to sit there and fight all day, but other people actually want to raise their children and they don't want to spend their life fighting. Do you get that? Do you understand that? No, you don't? Okay.
So we stupid. Because we don't understand that. I want you to hear the arrogance in this. So she's basically saying people just flee. That's what they do because they have common sense, and common sense says, I'm going to go somewhere where I can raise my children. Black Americans don't flee. We fought. We fought for everything. We shout out to TIQS. We fought. Look at the over 150 slave rebellions that we had in this country. Look at the fact that 200,000 Black men fought in the Civil War to free ourselves. Look at that. We don't flee. We fight. And that's the difference between us and you all. That's the difference between us and a lot of the immigrants that come to this country. You don't have the guts or the cojones, okay? You don't have the courage to sit where you are and make it better. You want to run up here where the fighting is already done and sit up under the umbrella of peace and that we provided. But let's see what else she got to say.
Move forward. So as an immigrant, I'm here in this country. What do I want to do? Put my best foot forward. What do my parents want to do? Put their best foot forward and give us the best opportunity they possibly can. Thank you, Lord, for my parents because they did exactly that. But it's my turn as their child to hold the baton. And one thing I always say, my parents did not risk their lives to get to America for me to get involved in some political warfare. My parents did not risk their lives for me to get to America, for me to sit here fighting people all day. That makes absolutely no sense. And I think because you guys have never taken that level of a risk, you don't understand that level of responsibility and accountability. That's really the problem here. Because if you really risk your lives to have something, if you really risk your life to get something, you're not willing and ready to throw it away.
All right. So basically what this young lady is saying is that her parents, whatever which way they got to this country, since they got here, she's going to be a good Black person. Okay. Somebody type good Negro, good negress, Negro-S, and that's what she's going to do. She's not going to get involved in any of these political conflicts, this George Floyd, this fight for rights. She's not going to do any fighting. She's just going to try to capitalize on the what's made available here, basically pretending to be a Black person, a Black foundational Black American person, and she's not going to get involved in any of that. That's basically what I gather from what she said, because that's not what her parents raised. Well, they fled, and now she's here, and she appreciates the great sacrifice they made, okay, making that little trip over here and staying past their visas and giving birth to her. That's her, okay? That's it. But while you're here, you're going to talk bad about the Black people who have actually fought and made it good. You're not going to get involved, though. That's basically what you're telling us. All right, got it. Yeah, I'm learning a lot. So shout out to all the people who say that, hey, you know, Uncle D, you being unfair. You're not telling both sides. I'm letting them tell their own side of the story. You want to know why Black Americans are like, we good? This is kind of like why we good. This, you understand what I'm saying? This is why we like, nah, y'all got this. You can go ahead and handle this on y'all. That's basically where we at. You can go ahead, since you know, y'all really don't mess with us like that. Go ahead and deal with it the best you can. We're going to go ahead and continue. Let's go ahead and see who else got something to say.
As a color. It was always as a nationality. This is where we come from. This is who we are. I was always a Haitian. I was never a Black. I was
Black. Somebody said I was never a Black. So this is why I don't identify with Black. I identify with being Haitian. Okay, I'm a Haitian. That's why I did. This is his explanation for why he doesn't identify with black. Now he black as hell. I don't care what none of y'all say up here. He black as hell. He know darn well he black. If I got some white folk in here with Confederate flags on the back of their truck and they synced him walking down the street, they would not call him a Haitian. Okay, they would not. They would call him some racial epithets, and it would be derogatory names for black. Okay, but let's go ahead and listen to this hot mess, and I'm gonna explain some things to you in a minute.
Was always a Haitian. A Jamaican was always a Jamaican. They were never a black Jamaican.
More blacks.
You know. So 2014, when I moved to America to go to school, this is when I fill out a form.
You moved to America to go to school, a school whose property taxes were paid for by Americans. You just showed up and took up some spot for somebody whose parent had already paid the property taxes. But go ahead, I know you don't appreciate that. Those of us who pay property taxes, sometimes $10,000, $12,000 a year, we think about things like that. So you went up in somebody's school, probably in the black community. Okay, I'm just saying you probably went in a black community. But go ahead, Mr. Haitian, sir.
And it says race. Black. I didn't even know the word race had two different meanings until then. So I said race. It says black, white, Hispanic, Latino, Asian. And I told the lady, I said, I'm from Haiti. I'm Haitian.
No, you black, sir. Okay, what you understand. Now, the thing you have to understand is these Haitians and all these folk that come over here, they're identifying markers. And I spoke about this recently. Shout out to Black Sand. And I spoke about this recently. There's so many, they come from these all black countries. So they don't come from places where they're surrounded by people of other ethnicities. So they have the luxury of identifying as their nation. Okay. Black people don't have that luxury. Okay. Because if we begin to parse ourselves out to being, I'm from Jamaica, I'm from Nigeria, hell, I'm from Georgia, I'm from Texas. I'm not black, I'm from Texas. I'm not black, I'm from California. Get your black behind back over there. You see, we don't have that luxury. That's a luxury that these people have. But instead of adopting to the culture, okay, which benefits us because now we can put forth a united front, they want to bring their culture, which is failed in their homeland and is not congruent to living in the United States. Okay, so we're gonna let him go ahead and not be black. All right, shout out to that little fella for let's let him go ahead and not be black. He'll find out soon enough. Again, you want to know why Black Americans are cool on everybody. You want to know why we like, nah, we good. And I'm not saying it's been all bad. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, from what Black Americans have seen, it's like, y'all not really all in. You're not really showing us what we need to see to be unified with.
To start gatekeeping carnival. There's no reason.
This is a little Caribbean girl telling the rest of us that they need to start gatekeeping one of their cultural events called Carnival. But go ahead. Let's all the rap music and stuff they've stole from us and songs and let's listen to it.
On this earth for anybody that's not from the Caribbean to be at Carnival. And I don't care how y'all.
So we can't come to Carnival no more. All you fellas going down to Trinidad, all you ladies, you can't go no more. According to her, they're gonna gatekeep it. That's what she's saying. We're gonna gatekeep it. All right, go ahead and speak.
I feel on the subject. Caribbean culture is not based on the fact that we're black. Black American culture is based on the fact of being black. That is two completely different things.
Because in the United States of America, where we are and where you apparently are, being black is the only thing we have to keep us unified. They don't give a darn if you from Jamaica or the Caribbean, ma'am. So you adapt to where you are. And this is why we so unified. And this is why we like, nah, y'all can take them on back. We'll wait for a new crop to be born. They need to go back in the oven and get baked a little bit because they're not done, but we are done. Go ahead.
A lot of Black Americans in the comments, they were like, oh, what if we started gatekeeping our culture? Y'all should have been doing that. And the fact that y'all didn't, y'all are seeing the negative consequences of it.
Since we as foundational Black Americans didn't gatekeep our culture from people like Luke, who is Bayesian, and who name all the rest of them? Lil Kim, who's from Jamaica, was Nicki Minaj, who's from Jamaica. Since we didn't gatekeep it like we should have, and let you all come in and throw your little freaky twist on it. Now we got some of the freakiest music ever because of these Caribbean folk that come up here with their culture and infuse it with our hip hop. Hip hop used to be about empowerment. Now it's about freaking and smoking weed, and you know, between Rihanna and her little boyfriend, they just, I mean, that's where they at. But go ahead, let's go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead.
So how can somebody not look at y'all in this situation and think, geesh, maybe I don't want this for myself and my culture?
So we're stupid. I want you all to hear what these folk are saying. We're stupid as foundational Black Americans for not excluding them. That's what's being said. Do y'all hear that? You hear what I'm saying? Huh? We are stupid for not gatekeeping them from our culture. Keep that in mind. Now, keep in mind, Black Americans embrace people's culture. We invite people over. We got the laws changed in 1965 so that more Caribbeans and Africans and all sort of immigrants could come to the country. We felt as though that was part and parcel of the civil rights movement. Okay, we thought that we'd get some more of them over here. They'll come in and they'll see what we're doing. They'll join in. We'll be stronger. And all they did was come over here, take what they could, maintain their separate status, and try to get as close to white folk as they could. And that's why white folk are now sending you back home. That's what's happening. That's what you get. You wanted to hang out with the white folk, you hung out. Now there you go. Look at that. Cool for him though. It's okay. They cheering the white man on as he. I don't see any gatekeeping right here. I don't see any gatekeeping. The gate is wide open. The gate is wide open for your boy, right? But Black Americans, though, no, we can't let them in. All right, good to know. Thank you so much. Let's see what else the rest of y'all got to say. Let's hear the rest of it. All right, let's go.
Test of 3 Black people, one of them is African, one of them is Caribbean, and one of them is African American. I can guess all 3 correctly. If you know, you know. If you know how to do it, you know. If you don't, I'm sorry.
Okay.
For me, the easiest to identify are Africans. They have very distinct features that make them African. It sets them apart from Caribbeans and African Americans. This may seem very weird, but African Americans move differently than Caribbeans and Africans. It's a whole different vibe that you get from the person. It is very easy to identify. Personally,
so we can acknowledge that we know the subtle differences between ourselves. In other words, we know our people. But okay, go ahead.
Hardest to identify are Caribbeans, but if you use process of elimination, they're not African.
They're very good. They're very good at cosplaying foundational Black America. That's what he's saying.
American, they're not African. They gotta be Caribbean. They don't move a certain way. They don't look a certain way. So they gotta be from the island. As a Haitian, I can snipe a Haitian from anywhere. Haitians walk a certain way. They move a certain way. They speak a certain way. They look a certain way. Haitians are so easy to spot if you know. If you know, you know.
We know. We know. Well, let's get somebody else in here. All right. Appreciate you. Go ahead.
As the city of Springfield was in a decline, those Haitian people came there, they revitalized the economy, they paid their taxes. And
they pay, you need to work harder. Shout out to Blacks, because remember the answer is just work harder, work harder.
They're really supporting to create a vibrant community in Springfield.
You act like, let me explain something to you. Baby, Springfield, Ohio has been around, okay, a very long time. You just came in and y'all went up there and started working in the chicken factories and spending your little money in the community. That's what you did. Don't take credit for something that was already there. Okay, now you're starting to sound like Christopher Columbus when he came down to Hispaniola and discovered the Taínos. And then that's okay. I'm just saying, you sounding it's kind of colonizer-ish out there. All right, but don't take credit. You just came there and took some jobs. But go ahead.
This is about race. It is about the future of America. It is about pushing back against the narrative of the browning of America.
That's exactly what it is. That's what Black Americans have been trying to tell y'all for centuries. That's what we've been trying to tell. They don't like you like that. Come on over here with us, man. We're trying to tell you, come fall in. They don't. No, I don't want to associate with the Black Americans. No, you are too violent and ghetto. We don't want to. We heard you. We're like, all right, cool. We tried for years to get y'all to come on, hang out with us. We telling you, don't fool with them white folk like that. We trying to let y'all know that. Hang on a minute. They're gonna make, I'm trying to tell you. When y'all didn't listen, now you want to say, oh, it's black, it's black. But the great thing is, you can go back to your country, and there ain't really a whole lot of white people there. You got a whole country to go back to. And you don't even have to worry about these racial issues. You leave Springfield, Ohio, take your little money and your Obama cell phone and ease on back, and you be safe. Okay? I'm just saying. But remember, y'all remember racism doesn't exist. It's just that black Americans need to work harder. Okay? That's what it is. Work harder. Right? That's the same thing the white man told us. Our Haitian brothers and African brothers and Jamaican brothers, y'all telling black Americans we just need to work harder is some of the most racist, bigoted things that anybody has ever told us. Just work harder. As if we're lazy. You sound just like the white folks after we fought for freedom. They've been telling us we lazy since we stopped working for free. You all have been racist towards us, intraracial. So now you're finding out the hard way. Somebody type work harder in the chat room.
It's about keeping America white. It is about making sure that black and brown immigrants are...
Black and brown immigrants. She didn't say black people and then black immigrants. She said black and brown immigrants. So that lets you know off top, they identify with the immigrant community more so than the black community. So just so you listen, let people tell you, you listen long enough, people tell you that. Somebody please type work harder in the chat room. I don't see enough people because all these folk need to do is just work harder. That's what they told us, right? Work harder, stop resisting, okay? That's what you need to work harder, stop resisting. The white people are nice, right? I don't see racism in this country. That's what you told us, okay? That's the racist rundown that you gave us. And now that they rounding y'all up to the tune of 500,000, now you complain they're going to put us out of Ohio. Oh no, we work hard, we revitalize the country, work harder, just go up there and work. When Tom Holman shows up, just say I work hard, okay? I work hard, I don't want to go back to Haiti. That's what you tell them. Tell them you work hard.
It is about creating division. Those false narrative that continues to create this.
And I just want you to understand that because you are a foreigner, period, and you speak with an accent, no one's listening to you. I just want you to know that no one cares. People like Joy Reid, they are able to mask their foreign heritage and speak with an Americanized accent. That's why people listen to them. But nobody's listening to you. Maybe I might listen to you. Nobody's listening.
Atmosphere of fear, not only for the Haitian community, but for every single person living in Springfield is dangerous and cannot continue.
That's not what it is, baby. It's just dangerous for y'all. They're going to send y'all home. That's all it is. Let's see what else we can talk about. Go ahead.
We are all black, okay? Whether you're Haitian,
that's what we tried.
Jamaican,
I tried to tell them.
Nigerian. We're all black, so when you come here, you're going to experience the same thing.
Shout out to Johnny here. That's what they tell them, but they said no. All they have to do is work harder. That's what they thought. Just work hard. That's what they said.
You're in the court system. You're going to experience the same injustices. If you're driving,
but they didn't believe us. They didn't believe us.
Black, not while driving while black American.
Tell them.
It's all the same. We're all the same to white supremacists. So therefore, we're treated the same. Everybody don't hate black Americans. Everybody don't say those things, but I understand it. I understand how.
She's trying to explain why not everybody hates black Americans. I don't even know what, but why are you? So apparently somebody said we hate black Americans, and she's trying to go back. No, I'm trying to explain why we hate black Americans. I want you to just think about that. Let's say we just start. Let's say we went to France. All like me and 3,000 folk in my chat room went to France. And we all just went over there and just started making TikTok videos talking about how much we hate the French. Think about that. We hate you French people. We hate you. We don't like your French fries, your French toast. Not looking, none of this. No French kissing. We don't do any of that. We don't like anything French. Right? Imagine what the French people would say. They would say, you can get your butt back to America. That's what they would say. The balls of these, the lack of respect for folk. And then you come over here knowing our history, the whole world knows our history. And then we supposed to be empathetic to y'all getting rounded up and sent home? Probably not.
Some immigrants can think that they're better because I came from my country and I'm doing better than you. Why are you sitting there blaming a white man when you understand the implications and how bad it can get because of what happened in the past? You know, how the mindset can be transferred to the next generation. They got the short end of the stick.
Yeah, y'all, they got some real serious well, you know, this is not something that I'm made up. These folks came here with this. We didn't go to their country. Black Americans don't go to other people's country and talk reckless about them and disrespect them. But anyway, let's see what else we got.
Asking me, should we leave Ohio? Should we go elsewhere, or should we come outside the house at all? What
Probably
should we
not.
expect?
You need to go.
Is there any word about ICE being in Ohio? I always have the same answer. I tell everybody to stay calm, remain.
You better tell them to run, brother. But go ahead.
Calm, wait for further instruction.
They praying. Y'all keep praying. Keep on
We
praying.
don't have much people we usually have
They
at
ain't
the
coming.
church today because people worried about it.
They're
I
scared.
think the pastor was make a point about it. So
You got the little turtleneck on.
They don't have to be scared. They have to be alert. No.
Alert. Yeah, they need to be afraid. You should be afraid. Okay, I'm just telling you. Don't believe. Wait and wait. You better go and go.
Not too scared.
Scared. You should be scared.
I just asked God, hey, protect.
They say they scared to go to church now. I understand.
Your people, protect them, because I can do nothing. So protect them. It was my last prayer in the service to ask God to.
You don't need prayers. You need papers, brother. You don't need prayers. You need papers. But go ahead.
Protect them.
Okay. All right. Respect.
For the folks in the community, because
we
are living a very uncertain time.
You definitely are. You definitely are. You are definitely living.
African Americans and Black people from other cultures and ethnicities here in the United States have some tension. In my last video, I discussed on why some Black foreigners may be xenophobic towards African Americans. In this video, I'm going to talk about how some African Americans are indeed also xenophobic towards Black foreigners, because it does go both ways. This often happens because of the way the United States depicts Africa. The United States depicts Africa as uncivilized, uneducated, very primitive. Yet Nigerians are the most educated immigrant group in the United States. Africa also has some beautiful cities.
They got a lot of scammers too, though. You can't take the good without the bad. Y'all got a lot of educated people. There's a lot of scammers. That Nigerian population is popping in the federal courthouse. I'm just saying, don't forget that part, baby girl. Go ahead.
They also fail to teach African history properly. They don't talk about Mansa Musa, the richest man to ever live in his city of gold, or the library at Alexandria. All they teach is that Africans were caught and enslaved. Basically,
Africans were caught by other Africans and then purchased by Europeans. That's how that happened. We know what happened, but go ahead.
African Americans to hate where they come from. Hence, some Black
African Americans come from America. Okay, that's what you need to understand. See, we are not just solely an African people. We have Native American in us. We have some European. We got a little Asian. You understand what I'm saying? We are our own unique people. We are of African descent. We are our own unique people. We've been here half a millennia at this point. They don't think them folk don't think we bought with them unless you got some money. You coming over there with a box of shoes or something like that. Brother, you have size 12. I need the size 12, brother. I'm just saying, let's keep it 100.
Americans honestly project that hate onto Africans.
Oh, we project the hate. Oh, it's us. Oh, we are the ones. It's our fault. Oh, I get it. Oh my God, my bad. It's Black Americans' fault because we project hate on Africans and Caribbeans who come to this country. the ones that we allowed to come to this country and interact in our community. It's our fault. God, got it. Thank you. Thank you. But you just said the reason that Africans hate Black Americans because of what they saw on TV and what they've heard. Oh, okay. All right. But we'll let you.
And Black Americans are sometimes xenophobic towards Black Latinos because Black Latinos speak Spanish. So
no, we're xenophobic towards Latinos because Latinos in general practice something called mejor la raza, which means improve the race. And what that basically means is they practice an anti-Black racism. Okay, they call each other names like Prieto, Negro, and even amongst family members, it's a way of chiding them and reminding them that they're darker than the accepted tone, and they have an obligation to mejor la raza, which means improve the race. In other words, whiten it up. Okay, and so when you come to this country called the United States of America, and you see all these Black people out here, you think that you can treat us dark folk the same, that don't speak Spanish or whatever, the same way that the dark people are treated in these Latin American countries. And then guess what? You have a rude awakening coming because we're not going for it. You understand what I'm saying? Because we would be like, no, take your foreign self back to where you go. And they don't say foreign. Okay, that's what it is. But I'm going to go ahead and let you finish. Ma'am, go ahead.
They don't view them as Black. Little do they know English and Spanish are colonizer languages. Come from the
we know that. That's why they have England and Spain. We know that. We do know that. But
same place.
Yes, it's not the same place because Spain and Portugal actually are on what is called the Iber Peninsula. Okay, that's where they are. And that is, for the most part, would be considered Europe proper, whereas England is actually an island off the coast of the northern coast of Europe, ma'am. So we do know our geography, but thank you so much for your assistance and help, okay? Now we're gonna let somebody else come on up in here and say what they got to say.
Brothers and sisters, if you live in the U.S. and you speak English, please take the time to watch the news, know what's going on, and educate your peoples, man. Please do that. It's not only the Haitians, it's everybody. If you know somebody who came in this country recently, please help them out. I've been living in the U.S. for 2 years now, man. I was paroled in the country. But the way everything is going now, man, I'm scared, man. I'm scared for my people. I'm scared for my brothers and sisters here. I know a lot of us don't speak English, and we don't really know what's going on. A lot of us don't know. That's why I'm asking you guys, please, if you speak English, you understand the news, please talk to your peoples. I don't want none of my people to get deported.
They're going to get deported, brother. They're going to get deported, but go ahead.
Especially the ones that sacrificed their life. I'm talking about the ones that walked for days to make it to the U.S.
You mean they got to Mexico, and then they walked for days up to the southern border, and then walked over the border and broke the law. That's who you're talking about. Okay, go ahead. So that's the sacrifice. Cheating their way into the country, passing up all the people that were here ahead of time. That's a sacrifice. Sounds like I don't know, a little criminal activity to me, but let's go ahead.
They walk from Chile to Mexico, and they made it here. These people, they sacrificed their life to make it to the U.S., man.
That's what it is.
It's best that we know what
they sacrificed just to come up here and do what? For the American taxpayers to have to finance their what? Food stamp cards. They get vehicles. They got a chance to, you know, live in some luxury hotels in New York, right? A lot of Americans haven't lived in luxury hotels. They haven't been to New York to visit a luxury hotel, but you all did it, and you got here, and now you say, no, just stay more. I don't want you to deport it. Well, why don't you go back to your culture?
What's going on instead of not knowing what's going on. And please share this video to everybody you know. That way they know what's going on.
Okay, I'm cool now. I didn't see the problem is we already recognize there's some anti-Black racism going on, anti-foundational Black American hate. And it's like, you know, hard to feel sorry for you.
I'm in your club, what do I expect? Now, this is my thing. I don't listen to a lot of Caribbean music. I know a couple songs. And, you know, that being said, I don't think I know any Antiguan songs specifically, right? But, again, I'm in your country, up in your club. Even if I don't like the music, I mean, shit, I can take my ass home and listen to my own music because...
So this sister basically said she was making a response to a video of a Caribbean woman who was in a Black American club, and she was kind of, I guess, not in agreement with the music being played. In other words, I don't like the music. They already established they don't like the culture, but they don't like the music. Okay, cool. I guess that's fair. But you are in America, and you are at a foundational Black American-owned club, so you got to expect to hear some foundational Black American sourced music. But let's let the lady finish.
I'm in your shit. This is your house. What you say goes, right? And it's crazy to me though how a lot of people, and I'm going to be specific, a lot of non-Black Americans, they don't have this respect for Black American culture that we have for theirs.
A lot of non-Black Americans don't have the respect for Black American culture that we have for theirs. Now, I just heard the other lady say that Black Americans are xenophobic against Caribbean. Remember her? Remember the little one that said that we were the problem? Where's she at? Let me see if I can get her back up here on the screen. This one right here. Let's listen to the little light skin.
Why African Americans,
let's see what she
Black
said.
Foreigners, because it does go.
Let's see.
I'm going to talk about how some African Americans are indeed also xenophobic towards Black foreigners.
Now, for you all who would challenge, xenophobic means against things foreign. Okay, I know y'all might not have picked that up in your phonics class. That's a big word. But let's go back to this. Let's go back to what this sister said.
A lot of non-Black Americans, they don't have this respect for Black American culture that we have for theirs.
Okay. Now let's go back to see what the little light-skinned girl said. Hold on. Go ahead. Say it
are
again.
Indeed also xenophobic towards Black foreigners.
Who are? Some
African Americans are indeed also xenophobic towards Black foreigners. Because
see, I'm gonna go ahead and go with her.
In my country,
I think I believe her right here more than I believe the little light-skinned girl. I think she's a little biased. But go ahead, sister. Finish up.
In my club, complaining that I'm playing my goddamn music. Imagine you go up in somebody's house. You go up in somebody's house, right? And they make you dinner. And you eating their dinner, you complain, like, I don't like this dish. Like, like this what y'all eat? Where you from? You know what I'm saying? You can get the hell up out of my goddamn house. Like, I feel like that's
if
just...
you don't like Black folk in America, what she said, get the hell up on out of here. That's what you do. Go on, get the hell on up out of here. Go ahead.
That's just manners. That's just having common sense. Like you don't do that. I mean, look, I'm not mad that you don't like the music. You ain't gotta like, you know, everything that you come across, right? But I do think it's odd that clearly you go to American clubs on a regular basis, clearly, you know, and you mad about the music. Stay your ass at home or go to a Caribbean club. Like what? You want to know the funny thing?
I need you to watch the language because we're family friendly here, and I don't want YouTube to demonetize my little broadcast. I done spent a lot of time putting this together, doing a lot of research, and if you just demonetize my broadcast by cussing like you do, okay, then it's all for naught, okay? Because I ain't gonna get a lot of money. They ain't really shooting me no super chats, okay? I ain't worried about it. They enjoying themselves. They like the accents and the loud talking and whatnot, but I can't have you cussing me out. Okay, last night, I got 3 F-bombs and 8 MFs, and that is not going to be monetized. Okay, so you got to you got to watch the words, miss. I'm going to let you finish.
You know, when I went to that club in Antigua, they weren't even playing Caribbean music for real. Like, if I recall correctly, and I might be wrong, okay? But I recall that they were playing like 40% African-American music, maybe like 40% Afrobeats, and maybe 20% Caribbean music, maybe. Now, I recorded a video about that.
They don't even play their own music over there, but then they come over here and complain about, what we got. I know. I've been to some of them little parties down there. I know what they do down there. I know what to do, and I just find it interesting. You know, I just find it. Let's see what else the rest of y'all got to say. Go ahead.
Exactly.
This is such a powerful comment. I was going to create a video about this, but I'm glad you said this because this is something that has been on my chest since I posted the video the other day. When I said in the video, it's sad when I see people who look like me siding with that kind of rhetoric because you really think Karen can tell the difference between a Haitian and a Black American?
No, not really. That's what we've been telling y'all. But go ahead, babe. Go ahead.
We're all Black. He's talking about Black people in general. So saying that Haitians aren't Black in itself, to me, is another rhetoric that I feel like is so disrespectful to not only the Haitian community, but also to yourself. Because what do you think? Because we're Haitian, we're not Black? Do you think?
No, we think y'all Black. We do think you Black. That's the thing. We actually think you're Black. We thought y'all were Black. We were like, hey, Black country, y'all freed yourself. Yeah, amazing. Blah 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 blah. But apparently, you all don't think you're Black. See, that's what we do. We trying to figure that out. They not Black? Are you telling me that these people are not Black? That's what you're trying to tell me? Because we can't believe that. You telling me that y'all not Black? He said he not Black. Look,
as a color. It was always as a nationality. This is where we come from. This is who we are. I was always a Haitian. I was never a Black. I was always a Haitian. A Jamaican was always a Jamaican. They were never a Black Jamaican. You know? So 2014, when I moved to America to go to school, this is when I fill out a form and it says race.
What color he look to y'all? He look Black to me. I'm just saying, he look Black. Does he look Black to y'all? He look. Let me put his picture up a little bit more. Look Black to me. Somebody, if you think he look Black, type Black in the chat room. He look Black to me. If I saw him, I'd be like, what is he? I don't know, but Black. That's what I would say. But go ahead.
I didn't even know the word race had two different meanings until then.
You didn't know.
So I said race. It says Black, white, Hispanic, Latino, Asian. And I told the lady, I said, I'm from Haiti. I'm Haitian.
And she said, you Black. Now go ahead, ma'am.
Not experience the same oppression that you guys like. I'm sorry, I'm very confused. I think people don't understand or realize that you could be bicultural. You could even be tricultural. Me being Haitian does not mean
how you gonna be tricultural? You better be the culture that works. You didn't see Uncle D's lesson on culture. You got to be the culture that works where you are. But go ahead, man.
I don't experience the same Black experience. I'm Haitian and I'm also Black. Like I'm not just Haitian. I'm Haitian and I'm proud of it. But I'm also a Black American. I'm here as a Black person.
You are Black Caribbean American. That's what you are. But go ahead.
As a person who the race that is implied upon me is Black.
It's not implied. It is in fact put upon you. Okay, it's not an implication. Okay, we know you Black. Everybody knows you Black. I know you Black. I'm Black. We all Black. You all didn't know you were Black. You all thought you were Haitian. Okay, what you thought you were Haitian. That's what you thought.
So when I saw the comment saying "leave us out of this" from Black Americans, really added salt.
Somebody type "leave us out of this" in the chat room.
To the wound, because we're supposed.
We supposed to what? Hold on, I cut off too soon. Let me go back to see. What?
The wound, because we're supposed to be in solidarity.
No, we're not. Y'all.
This isn't just an attack on Haitians. Although Haitians.
It is an attack on you are foreigners. It's not an attack on us. It's what? Hold on a minute now, because a minute ago I was hearing we different people. And then all of a sudden, when the heat turned up, now we are what?
American really added salt to the wound because we're supposed to be in solidarity. We're supposed to be in solidarity. This isn't just an attack on Haitians. Although Haitians are in the spotlight.
Look, y'all can't keep switching up like this. Y'all can't be with us one day and then be in solidarity. And then the next day, we're back to, say, throwing up your flags. I'm gonna need to have a better understanding of that. Y'all need to go ahead and pick a side. Okay, I'm just telling you. I'm gonna listen to you. Okay, I'm gonna listen. But most of the foundational Black American people, they don't give a darn what you're talking about. Okay, they couldn't even point Haiti out on the map. Okay, so this is your problem right here. It's like you all are Black one day and Haitian the next, whenever it's convenient. And that's confusing.
This is basically an attack on the Black community, but a lot of Black people are so blind. Black community
we're not blind. We know the difference between Haitians and Black Americans. Okay, we're not blind. Y'all getting sent home, and we staying here.
Also, my community as well. The Haitian community is my community. We're all Black.
Well, are you Haitian? What are you? Are you Black American? You flip-flopping.
Black people. Haiti in itself is a Black nation. So us being here, we're a part of that Black community. So why would you not think that when he's talking about Haitians, he's also implying you? He's
not talking about me. That's what you need to understand, baby. He's not talking about me. He's talking about you. My family's been over here for 300 years. He's not talking about me. He's talking about you. Okay, that's what you need to understand. You need to hold this one. You need to hold this. Okay?
Also implying you. They don't know the difference. MAGA does not know the difference between you or me or any other.
They know that I have citizenship, and you got some papers that says you just showed up. They know that. They do know the difference. I don't care what they know, and that's the difference between us, and I don't care what they know.
Black individual in the United States. They do not know the difference. And whatever had
we've been trying to tell y'all
we're separate.
Y'all been telling us we separate. Y'all been telling us that. I'm not the Black. I am Haitian. I'm not the Black. I am Haitian. I speak French and English. I speak patois. That's we have a culture. It's better than your culture. That's what y'all been telling us. Okay, that's what you tell us.
We're not. We're all in this together. And
no, we're not. Why? No, we're not going to be in it together now. I'm not going to be in that airplane headed back to Port-au-Prince with you. I'm not going to be in there. Because y'all have been mean and nasty to foundational Black Americans. So not only are we not going to be in there, we're not going to say nothing about it. We're going to go on and be in our ignorant selves, our ignorant, violent, what else they say about our culturalist selves. That's what we're going to do. Okay?
Like I said, we're supposed to be in solidarity, but I feel
like
a lot of people within the Black community think that this is a separate issue.
Yeah, it's an immigrant issue you're dealing with. That's some immigrant issues that you have. That's not our problem. Don't be trying to throw this out. Now let's hear some more complaints. What else you got to say? Complain about us. Go ahead.
Conversation about race. Is there a beef in between Black people and Black people from other countries? I'm bringing this up because I watched this video about how these Black kids in Elizabeth, Florida were attacking these Haitian girls. And they were Black boys specifically who were beating up and punching Haitian girls.
So it's just one-sided. Okay, it's just one side. Just the Black boys. It's just always a little, just blame the Black foundational Black American boy. Okay, go ahead. Let's hear it.
And then when I did a little bit more research,
them little ladies those little delicate ladies weren't saying anything to those little Black boys. That's what you're trying to tell me? Those little ladies who were dignified and come from this superior culture said absolutely nothing to those Black boys. Okay.
Research, I found out that in Florida, they used to have a thing where it was called Haitian Day, where the Black kids would go out, the Black American kids would go out of the way to attack Haitian kids.
Oh, it's the Black kids' fault. It's always the Black kids' fault. Okay. All right. That sounds mighty white of you, brother. But
now, for those who don't know why this is significant, it's because Haitians are the same goddamn color as me, which my grandma.
I think everybody knew that.
But my dad's side is Haitian, so that might be why. But the point is, they're the same damn color as me. They're clearly Black. Some will say blacker than us. And
so how do they know the difference between them? How do you know the difference? How do you know the boy? I'm just asking. If you seen some Black boys attacking some Black girl, how do you know the boys were Haitian? How do you know? Or are you just making assumptions? I don't know, man.
You know, there's little micro racism in between warring minorities. This ain't nothing new. You see this sometimes with the Mexicanos and the Hondureños. You see sometimes with the Guatemaltecos and los Mexicanos también, con los Dominicanos, Haitianos también. But for it to come from a specific group of people, Black Americans,
it's always the Black Americans' fault. But you know, y'all can always go back to Haiti, though. I mean, if you just want to end this problem, you can go on back to Haiti and then y'all have your own country and we won't come there and you don't have to come here. How about that? I mean, that's an option, right? Because see, we don't have anywhere else to go, and we didn't really invite you up here. I'm just speaking on it since you're having so many problems. And of course, you don't have any of these problems in Haiti. I'm sure Haiti is just a wonderful place to be. I'm sure it's very peaceful there. You live on that beautiful island right there in the Atlantic. It's a beautiful, I know Hispaniola is a beautiful island. So, you know, I'm sure it is a wonderful, wonderful place to be, probably peaceful and wonderful. I'm sure Haiti's a peaceful place. Why don't you go on back to Haiti?
From it to come from us when we grow up having to deal with racism and hate by from the color of our skin. It's just some really hypocritical shit to see it. I wanted to just make a video talking about this. Vamos a tener una conversación muy seria del racismo que se enfrenta la gente de Haití cuando viene a este país, principalmente en los estados tal como Florida, Nueva York. Yo acabo de ver unos videos hablando.
Basically saying in Florida and New York, he saw some videos that were saying.
¿Qué dice ellos? Hablando del racismo que se enfrenta los haitianos.
Basically, some problems with some Haitians getting bullied and such.
Por ejemplo, fue un video que grabó una.
For example, one
canal de noticia hace un tiempo. El video es bien viejo, pero de un ataque a unas grupos de niñas haitianas.
So they saying they was attacking a group of little girls, these black dudes, right? Go ahead.
Que les dieron un grupo de niños morenos.
Negro moreno, black and brown, little Negro, you know, little black boys. Go ahead. They were attacking the little innocent little Haitian girls. Go ahead, sir.
Niño moreno atacando una grupo de niñas haitianas.
Attacking the little girl. Okay, go ahead.
Asaltándolo, apuntándolo en todo. Y además, yo vi unos otros videos, otros youtubers de...
I looked at some more videos. Go ahead, sir.
Principalmente de...
Can somebody put the number to ICE in the chat room? Let's put the number to ICE in the chat room. What's that 1-800 number?
Porque hay bastante gente haitiana allá en Florida. Y según que dice, fue un día en las escuelas allá.
I find it interesting that these folk are complaining about coming to our country here in the United States and complaining about Black Americans. And then you know, because I speak a little Spanish. And this gentleman obviously does speak some Spanish, which means he is probably privy to many of the news broadcasts or noticias, as they say. And I know I speak Southern Spanish a little bit. It's not perfect, but the bottom line is, when I look at the news, when I would spend time in Santo Domingo, Santo Domingo, I would look at the news and I find it amazing how all these Haitian gentlemen would do these horrible things to many Dominican women. I remember one story distinctly. I think it was around 2017 to 2018. This young Haitian gentleman became angered because his love was rebuffed from this little Dominican girl. And so he commenced to relieve her of her arms. He literally cut her arms off in the country illegally. So, you know, I'm just saying, I mean, it appears to me that you wonderful Haitian people have issues, not just in the United States, but also in other countries that you traverse, which includes the Dominican Republic. And now I'm starting to understand a little bit why those Dominican folk are really hawks about the border, because apparently there's some cultural differences between yourselves and those other folk, just like you have these cultural differences between foundational Black Americans and yourselves. I'm just pointing something out because, of course, you're innocent victims and you didn't do anything, and this poor girl was hurt. And I know you all treat your women in Haiti with the utmost respect. They are delicate flowers down there. I'm sure that that's what we know.
Llamada Viernes de Haitiano, y que todos los morenos americanos asaltaron toda la gente.
The little girl's mama's a Haitian, the little black boy from America. What'd he do?
Haitiana.
He slapped up the Haitian. That's what he hit the little Haitian girl.
La mujer, la niña, la mujer, los niños, todo.
Little girl and boy, both told her. Go ahead.
And
everybody.
Nosotros los dos grupos tenemos
the whole group.
El mismo color de piel. Enfrentamos los mismos problemas de racismo.
The problem was them black boys. That's the problem.
De pobrecida en todo. Y para mí es un desgracia.
Girl, go ahead, sir.
Gracias ver este tipo de... Y todavía yo no sé si todavía siga pasando. Todavía no sé si siga pasando este racismo entre los morenos en los...
They're racist against the Haitians. That's what she said, praise God. All right. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Okay, so basically what you're saying is all the black people's fault. It's all the foundational black Americans' fault. Yet you are the ones that, number one, come to our country, and you got all these things to say about it, but you're just totally innocent. Okay, let's keep listening.
Start that business. Meanwhile, you were born here and you have nothing.
You know, these diaspora wars are getting out of control. I mean, when I tell you how many foreign creators that I see that talk about, you know, Black Americans, you know, you got your UK girlies talking about Black American woman, and then you got, you know, all these other immigrants, you know, talking down on Black Americans. And, you know, I honestly don't really see a whole lot of Black Americans talking about other countries, talking about immigrants.
We don't even care enough about you all to talk about you. You are as irrelevant to us. It's like, hey, let's go get. The only time we think about Jamaican is when we trying to get some reggae going. I don't even know if I even know any Haitian food or anything like that. I don't even never been to a Haitian restaurant. We don't even think about you all like that. But apparently we are on your minds. That's the thing. And you come to our country with the foolishness and the disrespect.
I don't see that, so maybe I could be wrong in thinking that this is a one-sided
it is
war or diaspora war. It seems to be very one-sided because I personally have not seen very many other than doing a reaction like what I'm doing. I have not seen Black Americans start any fights.
Well, I ain't starting no fights, but I'm gonna put a cap on it. Tonight is gonna be blistering hot up in here. So close your ears if you're not ready. But go ahead, sister.
Now, what I will say is, just according to her video, there probably are some Americans in general, not even just Black Americans, who might be jealous of the success of other people who come over here. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I'm not saying that you're just making all of this up. But what I am saying also is that it seems like a lot of you guys choose to only see the ones that are not successful. Like, you never talk about the ones that are successful. You choose to completely ignore the very large population of very highly educated Black Americans, Black women, even Black men who are very successful, who own businesses, who own property, who are extremely successful. You choose to completely ignore that they exist at all. And you only choose to focus and pay attention on the ones who are jealous and unsuccessful.
That's what they
There are populations in every single country, in every single nation, that have unsuccessful people. I'm pretty sure you are aware of some of them. There's countries that have entire populations of people who cannot find success. Yep. So when you come over here, there's gonna be some people who are gonna be poor. There's going to be some people who are lazy. There's going to be some people who don't have any hustle or any get up. That's everywhere. If you were to take 100% of the population in your country and drop them in the middle of the United States, all of them are not going to be successful. Everybody does not have that get up and that gall. Okay, so let's not make it seem like 100% of the time, 100% of immigrants are going to be successful, or 100% of Black Americans are just completely unsuccessful, and we don't have we don't have anything. Like, that is completely nonsense.
As a group, we're successful. We have almost 1,800,000 millionaires. The average Black man who 60% of Black men who hit middle age are upper middle class, or rich. Our incarceration rate is lower than our college entry rate. So, Black Americans are doing well. Black women have the highest rate of entrepreneurship amongst all of these minority groups. And so, we are very successful as a people. We're the richest group of people of African descent on this planet. That's why so many Africans and people of African descent come to this country. But they want to call us lazy. Somebody type work hard in the chat room. You want to come over here and benefit off of what we built and then turn around and tell us we're lazy. Just think about that.
So my thing is, you guys are choosing to only see the ones that are not successful so that you can have something to talk about. Because I know plenty of very successful Black Americans who have a lot to show for very hard work. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of you guys, most of you guys who talk like this, don't you guys have entire countries, an entire nation that belongs and is ran by your people. Like, you don't have any other races in your country that have had their foots on your necks for hundreds of years. Like, you have your people have free reign in your own land, in your own territory, to make your own rules. So for you to, it's like y'all got a lot of motherfucking nerve. Like, y'all got.
She let that one fly. That one slipped out on me. Baby, you too pretty to be letting them MFers slide. Like, I didn't even see that one coming, girl. Talking that MF, you got a lot of money. She did it real smooth though, but you got to watch that. We got to make it family friendly. Okay, I'm gonna let you go, but watch the family friendly. Hey, okay, all right, go ahead. Let's try it again.
A lot of nerve, really, like. Nerve. And the thing is, nobody even wants to go there, but it's the truth.
Don't nobody want to go to Haiti.
And I don't pretend to know everything that goes on in other countries, because at the end of the day, I was born and raised here. I really don't know what's going on in you guys, in anybody else's country. But what I do know is, you guys, whoever is running the show over there, your people who are running the show in your country, they don't want to do the infrastructural work. Okay, so the hard work, which is the infrastructural work that's what they need to do. Here has already been done. It's already set in place.
We did it.
So it is going to be a lot easier for somebody to come over here and create and build wealth and build a life. Okay, it is easier because the infrastructural work here has already been done. So when you're coming over here, there isn't.
That's like giving yourself credit for driving down the highway. Oh, I drove down the highway, and the highway was built by somebody else. Yeah, you'd been on dirt roads and donkeys if you hadn't had that highway.
The infrastructural building, like the foundation, is always the most difficult, most important part.
The foundation built by the foundational Black Americans is why you can come over here and have an easy life. Go ahead.
Of anything, even when you're building a building, the foundation is the most important part. So the most important part, and even building up a country, is your foundation, your infrastructure. So if that part is shaky and fucked up, then everything's
you gotta not be saying these words, ma'am. Okay, that's an MFer and an F-bomb. Okay, you are too cute to be letting them fly like that. Okay, I am trying to run a family. I'm trying to run a family-friendly broadcast here today. We're talking intelligently about the Haitian problem. You cannot be here using your MF word. Okay. You cannot do that. That's one MF and one F-bomb. You cannot do that to me. Okay? Stop it now. Stop it.
Fucked up.
Dude. That's one MF and two. That's two F-bombs and one MF.
So like, I'm not even trying to be like, I ain't even really trying to go there. Yeah. But some of y'all will push people there, because
that's what they're doing,
I really be getting tired of this. Like, everybody, it doesn't matter how many opportunities are here. Everybody is not going to make it, like, period. Like, whether if it's your people coming over here as immigrants, or if it's people who were born and raised here. Being born and raised in the United States does not mean that you have a silver spoon in your mouth. You still got to go out here, and you still have to have the hustle to get it out the mud. Like, I mean, everybody just can't do that. Everybody won't do it. Some people are just fucking lazy. But anyways, y'all.
You did it again. You did it again. I'm going to get you up out of here. You're going to get my channel demonetized. Let's get somebody else in here with your little cussing self. You too cute to be cussing like that. Get on up out of here. Let's get somebody else up in here. Somebody that ain't going to be cussing. Go ahead. Get on.
I'll say this. And he said, basically, like, just to paraphrase, that Black Americans, they're the privileged Black people.
The way he phrased it was Black Americans.
Black Americans are the privileged Black people because we fought for that privilege. We worked for it. Okay.
Are the most privileged Black people on the planet. It's funny because when you tell Black Americans this, they're going to look at you.
This is how they really feel about it. This is where the jealousy comes from. That's why we always on their mind. Keep this in mind.
You're like, what are you talking about? But I think overall, when you look at where everybody else is in the world, we're looking at the people in the States saying, yo, y'all have so much up.
That's because we are special, because we are a special group of people with a special culture that you all say doesn't exist. We got to go get it, work hard culture. That's why y'all running over here all the time. But go ahead.
It's just whether you're going to embrace it or not. You know what I mean?
What about the flip side of that argument, though? Just to be the contrarian, American come back to him and say, what about all that trauma and all that baggage that comes with our ancestors' journey
to America. I think Americans think they know what corruption is, but they never really truly experience what.
That ain't what we talking about, man. We talking about the trauma that we had to go through to get to where we are. We're not talking about corruption. We talking about the trauma. Corruption and trauma are different. We talking about families being separated generation after generation. We're talking about SA. We're talking about grapes. We're talking about mutilations. We're not just talking about corruption of government. That's somebody greedy of your own group that decides that he's going to put his own needs before everybody else. But go ahead.
Corruption is. Go to certain places in JA or certain places in Africa where it's like, yo, the government is like, bro, I had a conversation.
That's a you problem. See, that's a cultural problem. You got corrupt leaders. What does that say about the people who voted for the corrupt?
With somebody who told me he came from Eritrea and how nobody can leave Eritrea.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't. It's hard.
They had to, like, the man said I had to walk for 3 days, no food, to get to South Sudan.
With Black America.
Hey, yo, what's good, y'all? So, if you go back and watch his full video, that creator, he's talking about the relationship between Black Americans and people from Africa. And he's talking about how influential African Americans were on African culture where he's from. Like, basically, he's talking about how African Americans had a strong influence on the culture of his particular country on the African continent.
On all of these
folks. That, like, when he was growing up in his country.
This is where the jealousy comes from. All my FBA family, these folk grow up idolizing us. And then they got the nerve to come over here and tell us the same culture that they mimic and idolize doesn't exist. Just straight up disrespect. Go ahead.
People in his country, Africans in his country, were obsessed with Black Americans. And like that video kind of made me smile a little bit. Because he said he basically was talking about how influential Black Americans were and how
What's up, baby?
In his country, they copy all the trends that Black Americans do. They mimic everything Black Americans do. Like, they were extremely obsessed with us. It just really made me think about how
extremely obsessed with us.
Y'all know how, like, when people from Africa come to the United States, right?
And
they, you know, a lot of African immigrants do come here and dog Black Americans. Like, they trap.
You hear what he's saying? I'm not the only one saying this. And you wonder why Black folk are not rushing out to stop these Africans and Haitians from being deported. Why we're not putting ourselves out there. Somebody type resting in the chat room. We are resting. Go ahead.
Trash talk is so bad. And when we bring up the fact that people from Africa act like they don't like Black Americans,
they do.
One thing that they always try to throw in our face is, oh, well, y'all called us African booty scratchers in elementary school. And
somebody type African booty scratcher in the chat room. Somebody type, I didn't even know any Africans when I was in elementary school. But we're going to deal with that. We're going to talk about bullying. We're going to talk about teasing. We are going to give these people a dissertation, an exegesis on foundational Black American culture, so we can end this once and for all, so we can explain to them that, number one, those were children doing that to you. Number two, it was there for a reason and a purpose. We were trying to help y'all, calling you an African booty scratcher. And I'm going to say that word a couple more times today. All right? Praise God. Go ahead, sir. Finish,
looking at them like, wow, that's so petty. Like, you don't like Black Americans as an adult because African Americans, you know, picked on you in elementary school. Now, stay with me.
Maybe you just don't like foundational Black Americans, and that's just the reason that you hold on to. Maybe, as the young lady said, you grew up in a household where your parents didn't like foundational Black Americans or Black Americans, and you just say, yeah, they call me an African booty scratcher. So even though I'm 45, that hurt. You just holding on to it. Because y'all seem to love white folk, and they call you worse than that. Matter of fact, they said you live in a shithole country, and you're still running over here trying to stay. I ain't say it, okay? Mr. White Man himself, DJ Trump said it about you, and y'all ain't mad at them. Why you mad at Black folk? We eat your little oxtails and such. But go ahead, sir. Go ahead, little brother. Go ahead.
Like, that's legit. So this man was talking about how obsessed people in this country are with Black Americans. So let's say, imagine you grew up in a country in Africa, and you know, you grew up in a country where there's nothing but Black people around you. But a lot of the Black people around you live in like oppressive situations where like the Europeans have come and they have scrambled for Africa, and what they left behind was squabbage that the people are still fighting to get through. And you turn on your TV, and you see all of this black greatness on TV.
All this black greatness. I just like the way that sounds. Somebody just type black greatness in the chat room. Is it still Black History Month? Is it still black? My Black History Month numbers are going to be off the chain. Somebody type black greatness in the chat room. We've been talking about black greatness every day on my broadcast for the past 22 days. I know y'all noticed that I've been sneaking in a lot of facts and history in this mess that we talk about. Y'all learned about, don't thank me now. Don't thank me now. But I know that y'all have learned about the transatlantic slave trade. You all have learned about some of the things that people have had to deal with as far as black women having to cut their hair or keep their hair covered. Y'all have learned a lot about black America. I've been sneaking it in on y'all, between the mess and the conflict. Y'all been learning something. But anyway, I'm gonna let the young brother go ahead and speak. He got a real good, look great hair too. That's cool. I don't want all that hair on my head, but I like his hairline. Go ahead. Matter of fact, go ahead.
You see them on your television, you hear them on your radio, you follow all of their trends, you follow all of their styles, and then you learn about them in history books. And then you learn how these black Americans are connected to you because of the transatlantic slave trade. We are the descendants of the warriors who got taken away. And say you view these black Americans almost like your long lost cousins, these great, amazing people you see on TV. And then America is this great, amazing country where black people can grow and succeed.
That's right.
America is this great country where black Americans fought for people to have rights and privileges and opportunities. And then you come to the United States of America like as a child, and your very first time interacting with black Americans, your very first time, interacting with these people that you like, that you view them as like the people you see on TV. And you come to America as a child and you're interacting with these people in America, these African Americans that you see on television. They're so cool, they're so trendy, they're so stylish, they're so influential. And it's your first time interacting with them. And you don't get nothing that resembles love.
No, you get called the African booty scratcher because kids are mean. That's why. You think they was nice to each? We wasn't nice to each other. You could get capped, roasted. That's what we do, and it's part of the culture, sir. But go ahead, young brother. Go ahead. You gonna get roasted out here, and that's why we great. Okay, we got thick skin, and we don't take no for an answer. You ain't gonna fade me. I'm gonna dig into that later. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, young brother. Go ahead.
They make fun of you because you're different.
They make fun of you because kids are mean.
African booty scratcher.
You are an African booty scratcher.
The treatment that you receive from them is not love.
Can we order African booty scratchers on Amazon? Is that really a thing? What is an African booty scratcher? Is that as opposed to a European booty scratcher? Or I guess a Japanese booty scratcher? Is that a thing? Like, who thought that up? I want y'all to look in the Urban Dictionary and tell me where that term emanated. I mean, because that has stuck with them for 50 years. You hear me? They have not ever forgot being referred to as African. Now, the white man call you N-word, monkeys, and all that stuff, but the African booty scratcher, oh my gosh, shout out to Sir Gatekeeping. That apparently has caused some traumatic DNA change in you. Call that. Go ahead.
It's like you spend most of your primary school days being picked on, and bullied by black Americans.
We bully everybody. Okay, I'm black American and I got bullied. You gotta learn how to fight. Gotta learn how to cap back. That's part of the culture, baby. That's part of the culture. Somebody saying boys in the hood is where African booty scratch. No, sir, I can promise you, okay, from my own personal experience growing up in South Central Los Angeles, that African booty scratcher predated the movie Boys in the Hood. I distinctly recall it being used on numerous occasions in my peripheral vision and within earshot. Okay, now I was not one to hurl such a racial epithet at others from the diaspora. However, I have definitely seen it being put to use in my vicinity. So I can absolutely certainly that it predates that movie, which came out in the early 90s, sir. But we'll continue forth with this young brother to continue to speak.
From Africa. Now, we know that that is a problem with colonization. We know that that is a colonized mindset that causes Black American children to pick on kids who are from Africa, right?
It is not a colonized mindset, brother. It is something that was an adaptation that we needed so that we can get through the Jim Crow South when the white folks was around there calling us N-words and monkeys and all that sort of stuff, and you didn't overreact to it. Okay, it's something that we did to toughen the skin, but I'm gonna dig into that deeper. Go ahead, finish, young brother. You on the roll. Somebody type, let him cook in the chat room.
But imagine the hurt that you would experience.
You hurt.
Imagine the hurt that you would feel when you grew up in a country where you grew up obsessed with Black Americans and Black American culture, and then you come to the United States of America, this land of opportunity, and your first time interacting with these people that you grew up being.
These people, I like that. They call me African booty scratcher.
They're bullying you and picking on you, and you deal with this all of your primary school years. You deal with this all the way through high school until you become an adult. When Black Americans have finally started decolonizing themselves, and we're saying, "Oh, we all need to get along." You know, we've all.
We ain't tell y'all we need to get along with nobody. We ain't trying to get along with y'all. We don't care what you do. But go ahead.
And then they're talking to you about how you don't like Black Americans, and you say, "Well, you guys call us African booty scratchers."
You call us African booty scratchers. Well, y'all sold us into slavery. I'm just saying that we compare the equities. You know, y'all did sell us into slavery for like 500 years. So what would you rather be? Sold as a slave, disassociated from your language, your religion, your spirituality, your people, or be called the African booty scratcher? I don't know. Let's balance the equities on that. We'll do that later. But go ahead.
Because you guys made fun of us. And then those same Black Americans are telling you that you being upset because African Americans bullied you in school is silly. Imagine the hurt that they would feel. I feel like as African Americans,
it's what it is. It's the culture. I'm gonna go ahead and let the young brothers turn you down. All right, bro. Let me go ahead and just get you. You see, you said the word. You got the E word. Let me get you on up out of here, young brother. Yes, Lord. Thanks, God. Yes, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. I want to thank everybody for being in here today. And I want to first say this. Okay. Uncle D is a reflection of all of my experiences as a foundational Black American man. Hallelujah. And I know, irrespective of what these folks say, that we love all of our brothers and sisters across the diaspora. However, there needs to be a day of reckoning. Now, you all being sent home, and you are claiming that you don't want to go back home. Somebody type home in the chat room. Somebody type home in the chat room. You don't want to go back home. I'm talking to the Haitians. Come to the front. All my Haitians, come to the front. You know I love you, but I have to talk to you. Come to the front now. Okay, you don't want to go home. You see, you say this is this is superior culture though. You don't want to go back to this superior culture because you complain so much about Black Americans up here, right? We don't have any culture. Look, let me explain something. You got Haitians pleading with the world and arguing that deporting them back to Haiti is just inhumane because their homeland is suffering from a humanitarian catastrophe. And the media and the activists and the international organizations are all painting Haiti as a war zone, a place of extreme gang violence and starvation and displacement and suffering. Okay, and we would agree. I think Trump, he called it the poop hole country. I'm not going to say the S word because I'm going to keep it family friendly. But see, here's the truth that you all won't admit, my Haitian brothers and sisters. Haiti's crisis is not just a humanitarian disaster. It is a self-inflicted wound. Haiti's not just a victim of external forces. It is a failed state created by its own people. And I know that's hard to hear because y'all had that superior culture over there, right? All right. But let's roll with me on this one, okay? See, the same Haitians who now refuse to return are the ones who are responsible for the condition that you're dealing with right now. Oh no, you're gonna speak the truth. I'm the Blizzard King. You're gonna get it ice cold, baby. You claim it's too dangerous. And the question is why? Well, here's some hard facts. The United Nations has designated Haiti, right, as a total collapse. You understand? You got over 5,600 people unalived in 2024 alone. And who did it? It was Haiti's ruthless gangs. And this is not some random crisis. This is organized criminal control over an entire nation. They utilize grape and SA or SV, S violence, and it's widespread. It's so bad that the United Nations stopped keeping statistics because they knew whatever number they reported would be misleadingly low. One of the Haitians, look, 1 in 10 Haitians is now displaced, forced to flee their homes due to gang violence. That's one of the highest displacement rates in the world. Over 1 million people now live in overcrowded, unsanitary refugee camps where women and girls are subject to gang rapes. They are forced into prostitution and survival sex in exchange for food. This is how you treat your women and your superior culture. These gangs, they just don't unalive people and steal and rape. They literally control every aspect of daily life. The education system is collapsing. You got over 1.2 million Haitian children that live under constant gang threats. Gang, gang, gang. That's what keeps showing up, not earthquake, gang. Gangs of Haitians, men primarily. They have to turn the schools into refugee camps, which makes education possible. And of course, healthcare is non-existent. 70% of the hospitals in Port-au-Prince are not functioning. Doctors and nurses are being kidnapped for ransom and unalived because the gangs control the major roads and the medical supplies can't get through the hospitals. You got food scarcity. You got half the Haitian population is facing hunger or acute hunger. You got the World Food Program warns that some areas are controlled by gangs are experiencing levels of starvation never seen before in the Western Hemisphere. The Haitian police have lost control. They're corrupt. They're outnumbered. They're outgunned. And despite the Kenyan-led multinational security support, the gangs remain in control. Gangs of who? Haitians. So what does it sound like to me is the problem? Huh? You got Port-au-Prince. Port-au-Prince has been completely cut off by land, air, and sea. And the gangs rule every aspect of life, deciding who lives, who gets unalived, who eats, who suffers. Haiti has no functioning government, no law enforcement presence capable of restoring order, and no infrastructure to support its people. And yet Haitians are crying out that deportation is unfair. But hold on. This is a self-inflicted disaster. That's the problem. The United States, the international community, no, we didn't create this problem. Haitians did. Stop unaliving your own people. Stop raping your women and girls. Haitian men turned this country into a nightmare. And the gangs who control the streets, they're not foreign invaders, they're Haitians themselves. Haitian women suffer because Haitian society allows it. There's no cultural outrage, no movement from within Haiti demanding the end of SA and young women and girls. There's no serious effort to take back control. You just keep begging and running to the United States and other countries. Every opportunity that the world gives you to rebuild your country, you squander it. Billions in international aid, literally billions, have vanished into corruption and mismanagement and crime. This is not a random act of misfortune. This is a direct result of a nation that has refused to govern itself. You need to understand something. It's a cold, hard world that we live in. And no country is obliged to save Haitians from themselves. Haitians are demanding protection. Got it. You want the protection from deportation because your homeland is too dangerous. Well, why is it dangerous? Huh? But even before we get to that, why should the United States taxpayers be responsible for a nation that refuses to save itself? United States didn't create Haitian gangs in Haiti. We didn't destroy Haitian schools. United States and the taxpayers here didn't dismantle the Haitian law enforcement. Yet you feel as though you are entitled to indefinite protection from for free and be free from accountability and free from responsibility for your own doggone country. Haiti's problem is man-made, and no amount of money or humanitarian aid or TPS extensions is going to fix the problem that your own country refuses to fix. If Haitians refuse to return to their own nation, who's going to rebuild it? If Haitians refuse to take back control of the gangs, who will? If Haitians refuse to fight for your women and your girls and your children and your land, then why should Americans have to do that for you? Haiti's not suffering from an imposed crisis. It's suffering from a self-inflicted collapse. And no nation has an obligation to save people from their own bad choices. Take some accountability. You can cry, you can protest, you can demand, but at the end of the day, the time is up. The U.S. has extended temporary protected status for Haitians for decades, but Haiti has done nothing to fix itself. Now, Haitians, you on your own. And that's exactly where it should be. Now, let's dig a little deeper. Now that we're getting warmed up. You got Haitians who don't want to be deported back to their superior culture. Let's talk about your culture. Because see, for years, family, for years, Haitians have taken every opportunity to critique and dismiss and distance themselves from foundational Black Americans. They have proudly declared, I am Black. I'm not the Black, I'm Haitian. Now, we call the Dominicans racist because they say, I'm not Black, I'm Dominican. But we don't say anything about these Haitians saying the same thing. And it is both confusing from both of them. Nevertheless, since we own these Haitians right now, if that somehow you think that places you above the struggles of Black Americans? Is that what you think by calling yourself Haitian? You think, oh, no, I'm not with them. These are the very people whose activism has secured the very rights and opportunities that you all now exploit in the United States. You heard what that young lady said. Why would I come to this country, have my parents struggle so hard, and then involve myself in this political mess? That's how we got you here. But nevertheless, since you don't want to involve yourself in this, we're going to return the favor. If Haitians have the liberty to critique foundational Black American culture, well, then I, the Blizzard King, yours truly, Uncle D, Dennis Sperling, right? I feel obliged to critique Haitian culture because Haitian problems are not about land. It's not about resources. It's not about colonialism because the Dominican Republic is right next to y'all and they seem to be doing fine. Largely because they're not out raping their women and girls. See, the problem that Haiti has is its people and its culture, and they've chosen to uphold that same culture. Look here. Haitian, you don't want to go back to Haiti. Who you going to blame for that? Your country's a failed state. It's a lawless wasteland filled up with murder and gang violence and mass rape of women because that's the norm. That's something you chose. Did you hear what I said earlier? 5,600 people were unalived in 2024 by Haitian gangs. That's more people than we lost in Desert Storm. The United States fought a whole war for 20 years, and all we lost was like 4,600 people. Y'all have unalived 5,600 people in 2024 alone. Shout out to B. Tisdale. No hospitals, kidnappings. no food, mass grape, starvation. It's not a natural disaster. It's not an act of God. This is a man-made crisis. That's the problem. You got men down there who are ruling by intimidation and violence. They use grape of women and girls, and I'm absolutely sure they're doing some other stuff with the little boys down there too, but nevertheless, they use it as a tool of power and control. And here's the other thing I want you to understand. I'm not letting the Haitian women off too, because y'all got a lot to say to foundational Black American women and foundational Black American men. You raise these men, these gang members are Haitian men and Haitian boys. You raised them. These are your sons. You raised them not to respect women. You raised them to go up and be corrupt and as leaders and to steal money from your people. You raised them to undervalue education and be lawless and glorified. That's what you did, Haitian women. This is the Haitian way, apparently, and you need to own it. Now, you always relate back to something that happened 200 years ago. That's the Haitian Revolution. Let's break that down. So the Haitian Revolution went on from 1791 to 1804, and undeniably, it was a historic event, and it marked the first successful slave uprising that led to an independent Black republic. But, you know, we'll give you a hand for that. We'll give you a hand, but you got a hand for that. What that tells me is that Haiti had every advantage necessary to win. The numbers were there. It was in your favors, right? You got enslaved Black population outnumbered by French. You outnumbered the French colonialists, right? You had them 10-1, meaning your success was inevitable once they got organized. The idea that this was some sort of miraculous victory ignores the sheer demographics of the situation. It was something that should have happened a long time ago. Here's another thing with your big bad self. The revolution wasn't won alone. You had white people helping you beat the French. The Spain and the British came along. They wanted France weak anyway. So Spanish supplied arms and troops, and the British saw the opportunity to hurt the French colony while strengthening their own position. But without that external support, would have Haiti won? I don't know. And then what about Haiti's rebels? You had the home field advantage. They knew the terrain. You had guerrilla tactics. You utilized the mountains to fight off the European forces. And then yellow fever also played a major part in wiping out thousands of French troops. So here's the thing. What has Haiti done since then? Because see, when you really start breaking down the Haitian Revolution, and I know it's all good and everything, we go Haiti, freedom, I know, right? But when you really start breaking it down, let's just analyze it. Okay, that's what it looked like to me. Now, what did you do with this freedom? Since you're so proud of it. You became the first independent Black nation in the Americas. But the real question is, what's been done with that freedom? Because see, today you're the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere. You got political instability. You got a horrible gang violent problem, economic disasters, and humanitarian crisis, all stemming from what? Your own people. Instead of building a thriving, peaceful, strong economy, Haiti has become a failed state. The country is plagued by corruption, lack of infrastructure, and severe gender-based violence. You don't respect your women. You don't respect your little girls. You don't protect your women. You don't protect your little girls. The women, you don't raise your sons to protect and love and respect their women. That's your main problem. And at this point, Haiti's a dumpster fire of the Caribbean, not because of its people, but because of generations of poor leadership, exploitation, and failure to build on what was once a powerful revolution. Look here. You had a spark when you started, but now you're just garbage. It's a great American poet named Sean Carter who said that, also known as Jay-Z. And that line pretty much describes the historical trajectory of Haiti. Haiti's prided itself on being the first independent black nation in the Western Hemisphere. But let's be real. Freedom is meaningless if it's not utilized to build something great. Look what we did as foundational black Americans once we had our freedom. We built over 100 HBCUs. And the first thing we did was send our girls to school so they could become teachers, so they can get out the South so we could protect them from the men, mostly white men. And we didn't flee. Most black Americans still live down South in the dirty. Shout out to all my Southern blacks. Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, North Carolina, South Carolina, the Panhandle of Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma, Texas. Shout out to all y'all. Because we didn't flee. Nevertheless, instead of having a thriving country, Haiti has been a place where citizens flee and come to the United States to get better opportunities. In a country that foundational black Americans built, you don't go run up next to them white folk. You come sit up next to us and complain and talk bad about us and talk bad about our culture. It looks like the Haitians fought for freedom just to flee, not to build, not to grow, not to escape, but just to flee. And what you are fleeing? You are fleeing your own failure. See, Haiti today and the Haitian people, you face problems the foundational black American culture does not tolerate. And let me break this down for you. Gender oppression or a lack of education for women. Haiti has one of the highest rates of sexual violence in the Caribbean. And it's already bad in the Caribbean. But you got, you up there, astronomical. The little Haitian girls can't go to school. They can't go to school without being assaulted. And this directly contributes to the poverty and the lack of social progress. Now compare that to foundational black American women. Compare that. They've always been empowered through education. Haitian governments have repeatedly exploited their own people rather than build a strong economy. Now compare that to foundational black American communities. We fought for civil rights. We fought for education. We fought for economic empowerment. Despite being in a country that tried to hold us back, we are surrounded. You had your own country. Now here's why foundational black Americans succeeded and Haiti has failed and has still failed. It's our culture, number one. Number two, the Haitian Revolution was about fighting oppression, but FBA culture is about fighting to build something greater. See, FBAs, foundational black Americans, we don't just survive, we thrive. Foundational black Americans, we don't flee, we fight to improve our communities. Foundational black American men do not oppress our women. In fact, our women teach our daughters and our girls not to allow men to oppress them. In fact, we empower them from both the men and the women. And the reason is common sense. We know that the nation is not going to be able to rise if half the population is held back. And while you spending that time holding your woman back, you holding yourself back. You can't, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, you can't hold a mule in a ditch without getting down there in the ditch and get dirty with him. So at the end of the day, foundational black Americans built something real in the face of oppression while Haiti won freedom just to squander it. And history remembers the Haitian Revolution, but nations aren't measured by how they started. They're measured by how they build over time. And on that front, Haiti has failed. Now check this out. Again, the revolution was a powerful moment in history, but you can't live off past victories. If Haiti was to be respected, it needs to stop running and stop failing and start building. Until then, Haitians are going to continue to flee to the United States. All right. And they're going to continue to live under the umbrella of foundational black Americans built. See, freedom isn't just breaking your chains. It's about what you do once those chains are gone. And Haiti has done nothing. Now, you want to know why we silent? Shout out to Miss Elaine. A few years ago, I remember when they had them Haitians and they were hounding them up. Remember they were rounding them up, they had the whips out. Get on back over there. They're down at the dude on the horse. Get on back out of here. Black Americans spoke out. We had to. Some of us didn't want to. Even at that time, we was like, they don't really like us. We protested. We forced the government to change the course. And what you do in return? Nothing. Distance yourselves from us in every opportunity. The disrespect continue. You never fought for us. Like that lady said, why would I sacrifice so much? And my parents would sacrifice and then I would just come over here and be in this political mess. Why would I do that? Okay, got you. Check. Somebody write check in the chat room. Check. Okay. You made it clear that you're not with us. And now we making it clear that's not a problem. Now, find it interesting. I mentioned the Dominicans earlier. I've been to the Dominican Republic. I've watched their news. For the most part, the Dominicans and the Haitians look like they identical. You really can't tell the difference. The only difference is some of them speak a little Spanish, a little different. The other ones speak a little, they got the same stuff. They pretty much eat the same stuff. They black, all of them black. There are some differences, but they black. But nevertheless, for years, the Haitians accused the Dominicans of racism. And now you got the same Haitians over here accusing Black Americans of racism. Are you kidding me? You're over here accusing foundational Black Americans of racism because of the way you treated over here? You don't like the immigrant, you don't like how we talk to you. You didn't like the Dominicans and their immigration policies. And now Black Americans are racist. Okay, right. I'm starting to question whether or not Dominicans are actually racist towards Haitians, or maybe they are. I'm assuming they are, but is that really it? Because they black as hell too. Maybe it's your cultural differences. Maybe they just refuse to tolerate your Haitian dysfunction. Just like Black Americans don't want to tolerate your Haitian dysfunction. If my next door neighbor was overrun with gangs and rapists and criminals who take advantage of girls and women, I wouldn't be welcoming them into my house either. I'd be putting up gates real fast as I could, putting them out. I'm just saying. Just like Black Americans are cool with Trump putting y'all out by the tune of 500,000. Them Dominicans apparently drew a line. They good on y'all. Maybe they think you don't have any respect for law. Law and order and civilization. I mean, hell, that's them. But Trump called your country a shithole country. The whole country. Here's the thing you need to understand, family, since you all want to be on your own, because I want to make sure you understand where it's coming from. Foundational Black Americans are done with all of the disrespect. We don't need you all. We don't really come to y'all's countries like that, not in any significant numbers. Okay? Temporary status is exactly what it is. And a lot of these folk, not just the Haitians, but a lot of y'all expected to live in the United States indefinitely and take advantage of our economy and our laws and our social structure and our welfare system. A structure that was built by foundational Black Americans, not you. It was built by Americans in general, not you. But see, now Trump is sending you home. And what is my suggestion to the Haitian folk and all the rest of you immigrants? When you go home, do something about those gangs. When you go home, start protecting your women and girls. Stop allowing men, your sons, your husbands, your uncles to grape and unalive and terrorize your own people. How about change your mindset? Because see, as America is done saving you all and the rest of the world. This is not an American problem. This is your problem. And until you fix your culture, Haiti will never rise from the ashes. And this time, no one is coming to save you. Now, let me talk to y'all a little bit about culture. Culture is the shared beliefs, values, customs, behaviors, and artifacts that characterize a group of people and are passed from one generation to the next. It influences folks within a society on how they think, how they communicate, and how they behave. Now, some of the elements of culture, language, the way people communicate, and that includes dialect and slang and formal speech, your customs, rituals, celebrate, like, that voodoo that y'all practice down there, voodoo, and you speak the Creole, right? Your celebrations, the Haitian Revolution, all that. That's what defines your community. Also, your belief system, your ethics, your morals, your principles, your guiding behavior, your social norms, unwritten rules about how to act in different social styles. I went over this deep with my folk the other day. We talked about this heavy, man. We went in there deep, and I taught them all about foundational Black America. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna land this plane. We ain't gonna be here. We ain't gonna be here all night. Okay, I ain't gonna have you up in here all night. Now, art and entertainment, music, dance, literature, these sort of things, food, cuisine, fashion, style, how you organize your family structures. For instance, foundational Black Americans, we have a matriarchal structure. And that's largely why we respect our women so much. Because ain't nobody gonna let nobody run up in grandma's house and do nothing bad to grandma. You gonna die for that one. You understand me? That's just how I get down. That's how I get down. You understand me? In relationships and roles, Black men are very egalitarian. We listen to our women. We love it. Even they loud and aggressive and be talking crazy. They might hit us with stuff, but we still listen to them. Because we egalitarian like that. We don't try to fake macho and dominate women. We don't do that like the Latinos and the fake Latinos out there. We don't do that to y'all. Okay? But here's the thing. It gives people a sense of identity and belonging. That's what your culture does. It shapes your societal values and your behaviors. You see? And it helps preserve your history and your traditions, good and bad. See, your value behaviors, good and bad. Sense of identity, good and bad. Not just good, also bad. Right? And it's supposed to help you adapt to new challenges. So culture is not static. Shout out to Black saying. It evolves based on history and environment and interactions with other cultures. Okay? Every group of people from small tribes to entire nations has their own culture. Hell, you can go to different cultures. Different churches have their own culture. You understand what I'm saying? You see? Think about that. Don't block nobody. Y'all, my people said, don't block anybody. Let them talk. Let them talk. Don't block them. If they got something to say, let them say it. Let them get all of this that's coming. And look, I know we got some people. I ain't finished. I had to get that administrative. Y'all, the thing straight. Y'all hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I don't want to miss the opportunity. Make sure you all subscribe to the channel if you hadn't already. And if you learn something at some point, it's cool to contribute to the super chat. Only if you learn something. Don't give me nothing for free. I don't want nothing for free. You see what I'm saying? I only want what I earn. Nevertheless, make sure you do me this. Subscribe to this channel. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep on learning. But anyway, let's get back to the conversation. Do that so I don't have to break my train of thought. I'm getting old. I lose my train of thought. I'll be talking about something else. But what was I saying? Okay. So look, culture is not static. It evolves. So they have a lot of problems with Black folks, foundational Black Americans, and our culture. They always say that about our culture, right? They always say our culture is something wrong with the culture, right? Right? They don't like the fact that they say, well, I'm going to say it like this. We're strong on self-defense. In other words, we'll put hands on you. That's what they say about us, right? Right? Isn't that what they say? Let's speak the truth. We will put hands on you. All right? You will get the Compton stomp if you get out of pocket. Okay? But see, here's the thing. That's necessary. It was a necessary response to historical oppression. It was necessary to survive in a hostile society where we were surrounded by a dominant culture. And on top of that, it's a reflection of American cultural norms. All Americans are violent. Do you know we have more guns in America than we have people? You understand that? See, foundational Black Americans were born into a system of extreme violence. From the brutality of chattel slavery, to segregation, to lynching, to police violence. And so because of this, self-defense became a cultural necessity for survival. Enslaved Africans in America were subjected to some of the harshest forms of oppression, including forced breeding. And I talked about that the other day. Public executions. These white folk would sit around and have a picnic and watch somebody be hung. And then afterwards, they bring their children out. Look at some of the photos. They would send postcards around. They would keep the body parts of the person that was hung. This is what I'm saying. That's what a public execution. It was a Sunday football game equivalent. And on top of that, we had to deal with systematic racial terrorism. Even after slavery, the Jim Crow era, the institutional racism, it subjected foundational Black Americans to continued violence. And it required us to develop ways to protect ourselves. So, you know, America itself is built on a culture of conquest and warfare, whether we're talking about the Native Americans or the Mexicans or whoever else. America was born in a Revolutionary War. And foundational Black Americans are distinctly American. We naturally reflect that aspect of our nation's identity. And my suggestion is violence or putting hands on people or self-defense, whatever you want to call it, okay? It's not unique to foundational Black American culture because it is an American thing. It is fundamentally American that we will pick up arms, we will defend ourselves, we are self-reliant. Now I want you to contrast that with these immigrants and these folk from these. The Haitians fought one war 200 years ago, and they still think that makes them some kind of way anywhere near where we are. And they're not. See, again, foundational Black Americans don't flee oppression. We stand our ground and we fight back against oppression. Look at movements like the Black Panther Party for self-defense. Leaders like Brother Malcolm X, also known as El Haj El Malik El Shabazz. They emphasize self-defense, and that means securing justice for themselves. We refuse to be victimized, and it led to a strong emphasis of resistance, whether through civil rights protests, legal battles, or even physical confrontation. Look at the history of slave uprisings throughout the United States. And the other thing you have to understand is that we didn't even expect the government to protect us. Sometimes we were fighting against the government. We couldn't rely on law enforcement. Law enforcement by day, Grand Wizard of the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan by night. You couldn't get justice in the courthouse. So we had to defend ourselves. We had to defend our communities. You had race riots, police brutality incidents, threats from white supremacist groups. And that has contributed over the past 400 or 500 years to the cultural value of handling problems internally and ensuring that the disrespect or harm was met with a strong response. Look, respect is highly valued. And disrespect is going to lead to confrontation when you're dealing with the typical foundational Black American. And this stems from a history of having to endure disrespect from white society, making internal respect within the Black community even more critical. And here's the thing. And I spoke about this, even slight disrespect can escalate to something that's non-negotiable in FBA social dynamic. And that's why we don't disrespect each other like that. Nevertheless, we as foundational Black Americans, we've always fought for our place in society rather than passively accepting injustice. Whether we talk about the slave revolts or the civil rights movement, because I want you to picture something. Imagine if you, a white man in a racist little town in Alabama, and you don't even like Black folks, and then 3,000 or 4,000 come and try to walk through the center of your class, your town. That might as well be an invading army. So what many of you all don't understand, when you begin to read Dr. Martin Luther King's book, they were expecting to provoke a response. The only thing is they were saying, we're not going to respond back because we want to show the world how mean these people are. But it was definitely an invading army meant to invoke a response. What happens if I'm playing chess and I just gather all my people on the one side? I've taken over that side of the board. That's an occupation. So in response to this occupation, because that's what the civil rights movement was, we're going to occupy their territory, whether it's sitting at a lunch desk or walking down the middle of the street in the day we're not supposed to and invoke a response. It was an occupation. So I always question whether or not this truly was nonviolent or not. If you're, shout out to Pam C, if you do something that's intended to invoke a violent response, is that truly nonviolence? And see, we've been playing white folks for hundreds of years with stuff like that. That's what we do. We plan, we plot, we win. You see? That's thoughtfulness. That's how brilliant our leaders were. But nevertheless, foundational Black Americans have historically responded to oppression through organized resistance, and sometimes peaceful, sometimes forceful. Okay? But the bottom line is we've always been willing to fight and have fought. On top of that, we've even fought in these wars, domestically and internationally, in the United States, and reinforced that warrior-like identity. So don't ever tell us that we some begging folk, because that's not what we do. You understand? Nope, nope, nope. Now let's talk a little bit about this teasing and bullying. A lot of somebody type African booty scratcher in the chat room. African booty scratcher. That has got them bothered, right? So one of the biggest criticism, are y'all still with me? Are y'all learning something? Make sure you're learning something. If you're learning something, type learn something in the chat room. I need to know I'm not wasting my time. Learn something. One of the biggest criticisms from these foreign-born Blacks, whether they be Caribbean or African, or whatever, Haitian, whatever, is that foundational Black American culture, they got teased by the children in school, right? And they still bothers them, okay? But in our culture, we have a tradition of teasing and roasting and playing the dozens. When I was young, we used to call it bagging. Depending on what region of the country, and I know it says, shout out to Black saying, depending on what region of the country you're in, like I remember down in Texas, Houston, when I used to come down here, they'll call it capping. And then on the West Coast, we call it bagging. Down in places like Mississippi, they call playing the dozens. Okay, but still, it's the norm. Shout out to William Johnson. All right. Now, these folk who come to this country, y'all call it bullying. And they say it's mean-spirited. They say it's unnecessary. They think it's just pointless insults, petty jokes, right? At each other's expense, hurt their feeling. You call me African booty scratching. But see, the thing is, you fail to understand that the teasing is verbal sparring. You see? See, it's never just about fun. It's about survival. But because they fail to identify foundational Black American culture, they swear up to God it doesn't exist, right? But they don't identify. They don't understand it. So the question you all need to ask yourself is, why do FBAs play the dozens? Now, I ain't like getting capped on either. I ain't like it either. I'd be ready to fight, but I could roast back. Your mama joke, your mama's so big, when she jump off the curb, she commits suicide, unalivement. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. I mean, by the time you leave school in the day, man, your mama was, oh man, it just hurts your feelings. They just talk about your mama so bad and talk about you and your clothes and your eyes, and they get a nickname for you going, and it just after a while, and if you don't know what to do, man, it's like somebody punching you in the face and you just got to have your hands down. It hurts. I get it. We got light skin jokes, dark skin jokes, nappy hair jokes, straight hair jokes, short jokes, tall jokes, fat jokes, skinny jokes. If your head is shaped like a peanut, your name is Peanut. If you got a bad underbite, your name is Bulldog. They're going to talk about you, okay? Ain't nobody in this chat room got away from that. That's what we do. That's part of our culture. Now, the question you need to ask yourself is why? Huh? So remember, you're talking about the people who were in chattel slavery for over 250 years. We had 100 years of Jim Crow. All right? What happens to a person who has an emotional outburst because somebody called him out his name, an N-word, right? Or a monkey or a dog or whatever. You got an emotional outburst. That could cost you your life. See, the reality about Black life in America was that white men could call you anything they wanted to in your face. They can degrade you. They can insult you throughout your entire existence. They had little white boys calling grown, old Black men boy. All sorts of things. I read a story where one of the slave masters was punishing somebody for eating something, and they whooped him and beat him beyond belief, and then they had one of the other slaves defecate in his mouth after beating them. This is the sort of degradation we had to deal with. So being called the N-word was light. But the problem is if you reacted wrong, they wouldn't just unalive you. They would burn down your entire neighborhood. They would kill the whole family. My Uncle Robert used to tell me back in Mississippi, if one Black person got out of pocket with the white folk, they would literally come unalive their whole family. They call it culling the bad blood. Culling the bad blood. They would unalive your whole family if one of y'all stepped out of line. The entire community would suffer a violent retaliation. And this wasn't just theory. I mean, we can look at Red Summer 1919. That was only that was barely 100 years ago. You had Black soldiers returning from World War I where they were lynched just for wearing their uniforms with pride. And one wrong word to a white man could get them beaten or hung. The entire Black community was set on fire. Look at Elaine, Arkansas. What about the 1921 Tulsa race massacre? One Black teenager was falsely accused of assaulting a white woman, and in response, them white folk came and destroyed the whole town. They call it Black Wall Street. Burned to the ground. Shout out to C. Darden. So in this regard, if just one Black person lost their cool at the wrong moment and got emotional and snapped back, the consequences could be catastrophic for everybody. Look at the lynching of Emmett Till. Do y'all not know that true story? This is a 14-year-old boy who came to visit his family. He from Chicago, right? He been raised in Chicago. It's 1955. It's people that came up there and they free and, you know, whatever. What was what did they do to him? They tortured him. They unalived him down in Mississippi. He went to visit some family members in Mississippi. What did he allegedly do? Whistled at a white woman. He saw a white woman. His little 14-year-old impulses got the best of him. And he said, whatever. And because of that, he lost his life. Because 1955 Mississippi might as well have been 1855 Mississippi. Mississippi don't change. I don't know why people are moving to Mississippi. I don't even like driving through Mississippi. But that's what he did. That's what he got for not controlling his impulse. And that was 1955. Many of y'all might have been alive in 1955. Your parents might be alive in 1955. It could have been very well them. Definitely your grandparents. That wasn't the first time that happened. But his mama, Mammy Till Mobley, she made the decision to let the whole world see his face and what them people had did to them and expose the world to the brutal reality of American racism, something that we had known for 300-400 years at that point. So what did FBAs do to prepare their children for the reality? Your mama might talk bad about you. Some of y'all think it's just a kid. Where y'all think you get it from? You get capped on around your house. Your mama call you all kind of big. Get your big head butt over here. You get capped on all day. Over here shaped like a peanut. Even today, you don't have a quarry in the house. You will probably get called more N-words in your own household growing up with Black folk than you ever will by white folk. I'm just going to keep it 100 with you. You'll be all kind of N-words in your own household, all and worse than that. If you can imagine, it's some words worse than What do you think MF? Ain't no woman that can roll the MF off her mouth like a black. You can't, and she might be addressing that to her own sons and daughters also, and girls catch it worse. You ain't never seen nothing till you seen a black woman and her daughter go at it about something serious. But what does that do as a culture? I know you don't like it, but we got to talk about it. What it does is it trains children, black children from a young age to be mentally strong, to develop a thick skin so that when the time came, they can handle the insults without reacting emotionally. Why you think people like Jackie Robinson was able to go into these ball games with these white folk, call them all kind of monkeys and thieves sort of thing, and not overreact? Why you think he was able to do that? It started from being able to play the dozens and deal with it. It wasn't a game. It wasn't just jokes. It was cultural survival. It was a strategy. It was designed to mentally fortify black children against the world that would try to break them down. And that's why we are who we are now. See, the thing you need to understand about foundational black Americans is we always use humor to survive. Sometimes it upsets us. We see black folks shucking and jiving and hucking and bucking and doing a gig. But a lot of you foreign-born blacks, you often say, why do blacks tease each other so much? Why do they roast their own people? Why can't y'all just be nice at all times? Because it isn't about cruelty. It's about mental resilience. And that's something that a lot of you Caribbean blacks don't have. I read a study about 3 or 4 years ago, and I did a broadcast on it, and it discussed the unalivement rate, the self-unalivement rate. I don't want to use the S word, okay? The self-unalivement rate of black men. And the group of black men in America that had the highest rate of self-unalivement were Caribbean men. So yeah, they counted all the black men, but then they said, hold on, this particular group of men has a higher rate of unalivement than the other black men. So basically, foundational black Americans are like, yeah, whatever. We deal with depression because this is what we used to. And that is mental resilience that a lot of you all don't have. If you had to rebuild, if all the foundational black Americans left and our culture was gone and they dropped a bunch of Caribbeans and Africans off in this country, these white folks would wear y'all out. They would chop y'all up and dice y'all up, and they would wear y'all. Y'all not built for this. The only reason that Caribbeans and Africans can be in this country is because you are under the protection of foundational black Americans. And now, because we have withdrawn our protection, you are now experiencing what it's like. You don't have our protection anymore. You're not tough enough. And I know you don't want to hear that, but you're not tough enough. You can sit back and talk reckless about us all you want to. Shout out to Penny Ford, but you're not tough enough. Now, again, let me go on back. The dozens it wasn't about breaking people down. It was about making them unbreakable. Calling you an African booty scratcher was trying to get you ready for these white folk who calling you the N-word and calling you monkeys and telling you need to go back to your shithole country. Excuse my language. I apologize, but I had to get it out. So if you can survive the verbal sparring in the black community, you can survive anything. It gave you the ability to outwit your adversary without using violence. You sitting in that corporate office and they giving you these microaggressions. That ain't nothing to compare to what the black folk was called. Sitting on the train trying to serve white people, you being a porter. Boy, get your nickname on him, yum. And you doing your best not to snap. And you can't snap, because if you do, you're going to go to jail. Might stay there forever. You're definitely going to get fired. You won't be able to feed your family. See, this method of teasing as training, it's even seen in other cultures. Look at the military. Where are my military guys at? In the old military, the drill sergeants intentionally insulted and berated recruits to test their emotional control. If you can't handle the words, how you be able to handle real combat? Shout out to C. Darden. In professional sports, trash talk is used to break opponents mentally. Before the game even starts, athletes like Michael Jordan and Muhammad Ali mastered psychological warfare just as much as they mastered the sport. Hell, that was part of their game. Look at people, look at stand-up comedy. Roasting people is an art form, or what do they call it? crowd work. You got legendary comedians like Richard Pryor, Red Fox, and Paul Mooney, all foundational black. You wonder why black people are so funny? Because we use our weapon as a shield. We use our comedy as a shield and a weapon. We were able to turn that pain into humor because laughter was a weapon against oppression. And for foundational black Americans, verbal toughness was a necessity, not an option. Because if you couldn't handle a few jokes from your friends, how would you handle a racist cop calling you a slur in front of your wife or your girlfriend with a gun pointed at your head? And see the difference. Look, man, y'all getting some good stuff up in here, man. I hope y'all truly appreciate what I'm doing. I'm gonna take me a break in a little while. I'm gonna take me a break in about a week and be gone for a minute. I will come and go. But I hope y'all are enjoying this. Shout out to me. But nevertheless, let's finish. See the difference between foundational black American culture and these other black cultures, whether we talk about Haitian, Jamaican, Caribbean, shout out to Liliana, name them, wherever you at. You see, even these little biracial kids don't get this when you don't have that culture coming in. You don't understand this. You don't understand the culture because you didn't grow up in a society that systematically hunted us down. You didn't experience Jim Crow lynchage. That wasn't passed down to you. You didn't understand the KKK night raids. You weren't raised in the constant threat that anything, any wrong move could lead to a mass retaliation. That's why you don't understand the culture. That's why you can't read it. You think we're too aggressive, but you fail to see that our aggression is what kept us alive. You call us rude, but we call it resilience. You call it bullying. We call it preparation. You say it's harsh, but we say we battle tested. We don't break. We build warriors. If we couldn't take the heat, if you couldn't take the heat in your own neighborhood, you wouldn't survive outside of it. And that's why FBAs don't coddle each other, and we don't coddle our children, and our women don't coddle us, and fathers don't coddle them. We don't do none of that. Even our daughters are tougher than most men out here in the world right now. We build each other up through trials of fire. We never had the luxury of being soft. We never had the privilege of being weak. We never had the option of breaking under pressure. So when the Haitians and these other foreign blacks complain about how we talk to each other, that's because they don't understand that what they see as bullying is actually training. We're trying to help y'all. Because history has proven time and time again, if you can't control your emotions, the world will control you. If you can't handle the dozens, you won't survive in the real world. If you can't laugh in the face of oppression, you're already lost. And that's why foundational black Americans don't break. We build warriors. Now, you ain't got to like what I'm saying. It don't matter if you like it or not. But we couldn't fight back. We couldn't react. Our bullying and physical violence is not just senseless cruelty. You had to learn how to survive. You come over here from these foreign countries and you soft as a cotton swab. And FBA children bully them because they understand that you have to be tough. It's deeply rooted in our culture. It's a survival mechanism. For generations, black folks had to develop toughness in response to openly hostile society. It's a society that wouldn't hesitate to crush the weak. I look at these Africans all the time over there in Africa. I'll just be watching them. When them little junties and warlords get together, they be getting them dudes tied up, and they be hand-cut, and crying. And just lay down there and just let them people unalive them. And you just gonna not fight back? I mean, they line them up. I'm talking about they done caught somebody from another village and they line them up and they just, but you ain't gonna fight back? Shit. I don't give a damn if you got a gun or not. I'm gonna try to take you gonna shoot me. You gonna do something. I ain't gonna just lie down. It's gonna be a fight. So you just capture me and that's the end of the fight. No, we gonna fight down to the last itty bitty scrap. We gonna get it down. We gonna scrap it out. Shit. If I'm going, I'm going. That's how we made. I ain't like, why you kidding me? I know this is it. What? I'm just supposed to stand there. Mobutu, go to get down on your knees. I go to put, nah, hell, no, you not. No, you damn not. I'm not built for that. At all. See, foundational Black Americans had to develop toughness in response to these white folk. They would light you up if you was weak. That's why I tell y'all all the time, I see all these immigrants on the internet crying. I told you before, let me tell you again, sweethearts, listen to me. Listen to Uncle D. I ain't gonna be out there crying. No. Because the tears of the oppressed are delicious to the oppressors. And so the more y'all cry, my grandma, my abuela has got sent home. They laugh and no, I don't want to go back to Haiti. I don't have nothing. That's delicious to them. They are like, that's delicious. You better toughen up. Hell, Black children learn to fight early. Kidding me? Most of our mamas told us if somebody hits you, you hit them back harder. You see? Because see, when them white racist mobs come to burn down your town, where the police brutality is rampant, where the disrespect meant death, standing up for yourself wasn't an option. It was a necessity. And so for generations, Black folks we had to learn how to handle conflict. Not that we wanted to, but we had to. You couldn't fight back, you vulnerable. Go to the ghetto, any ghetto in America, and be the person that I just want to get along. They're gonna whoop you upside the back of your head every time they see you. Just become a target because you perceived as weak. And guess what? When you're weak, then the entire group suffers. That's why FBA children test each other. Shout out to Makiba. This is part of our culture that y'all say y'all don't like, that has kept us alive, and is why we got all this nice stuff over here in the USA. They push each other to see if they can handle the pressure. They challenge each other to see who's tough and who will fold. They roast each other. They tease each other. It's not hatred. It's to ensure that the strongest mentalities survive. Look, man, this wasn't about childhood spats. This is about making sure that when a Black person is encountered by a racist in power, they won't crack under pressure and be on the internet crying like y'all doing. Shout out to Tootie 456. Y'all making us all look bad. That's what you're doing. Look, you got to understand something. White folks could humiliate you in public. It was random acts of violence. They could wipe out your whole family. And so we had to do what we had to do. Period. Hell, the disrespect had no limits. And y'all over here crying because y'all got called an African booty scratcher. Well, take your... You got these kids over here complaining about FBA kids. Look, Haitians, you come from a different a different social hierarchy. Okay, in your culture, passivity or deference, it might be tolerated. But in America, that's read as weakness. Okay? Foundational Black Americans in general, we challenge each other just to see who's strong. And that's why any person perceived, especially children, because children let it go, any person perceived as being weak is going to get tested. It was an old saying, if you fight and run, you're going to have to fight every day. But if you fight back, even if you lose, you might have to fight once more, but people's words going to get around, he'll fight back. That's it. We never had the luxury of being soft. And Haitian children and Haitian people and all you African folk, you don't understand American racism. It doesn't care where you're from. And that's why we identify as Black first. You see? Because see, once you're seen as black, you're treated like a foundational black American person. That's what we've been trying to tell you. So when you got food talk about, I am not black, I am Haitian. Your black behind is blacker as the midnight on the darkest night in the winter. Okay, that's how black you are. All right. But the thing about foundational black America, we expect toughness, even from our women. It's not about cruelty. It's about making sure that every black child in our community can handle themselves, and they grow up into that. That's why we some of the toughest people on the planet. You see, playing some of the toughest sports, winning. That's why who we are. We've survived some of the most concentrated racial oppression that has ever existed. We didn't flee. We didn't beg. We didn't submit. We fought. We fought with our minds. We fought with our words. And so when these foreign-born black immigrants say that FBA children are too aggressive or our culture is too rough, and what they're really saying is they don't understand what we've been through. Okay, we didn't have the luxury of softness. We didn't have the luxury and privilege of being weak. We didn't have the luxury. We don't tolerate disrespect from anyone, because history has taught us that the moment we do, it's gonna be on. It's gonna get worse, and we'll lose everything. And if you want to be in FBA spaces, and that's what you did, shout out to Penny Ford. If you want to be in FBA spaces, you're gonna need to understand the rules. We're not here to be liked. We're here to survive. And when all else fails, we fight back. You understand? Now, I'm going to take the opportunity to read these posts and whatnot. I appreciate all you beautiful people. I done talked enough, but I still got a little bit more to say, but I want to make sure while we at the height of this broadcast, I make sure I acknowledge all the real MVPs who came through with the super chats, the cash apps, and the PayPal, because as I say, I don't ask you for anything. If you learn something, I should earn something. But, you know, if you didn't learn, that's fine. But I do require that you all go ahead and hit that super chat up and show me some love. So we got 35 super chats in here. Let me see if I have any cash apps in here. I want to make sure I acknowledge my cash app people first, because otherwise I might forget. We do have some cash apps. Oh, wow. Okay. Shout out. I'm going to read your last name, not your first name. Shout out to Nelson. Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Thank you, Mr. Forte, Mr. Watkins, Mr. Adams. Woo, Tyrone. Damn. Thank you. Appreciate it. I should have said your name. Playboy. My bad. Shout out the Queen. What's happening? Casimir. Shout out Hudson. Shout out to you. And Miss Sophia. That's a beautiful name. Shout out to Mr. Law and Mimi. Good looking out, family. Good looking out. I appreciate you all. And big shout out to Mr. Tyrone, brother. Thank you. I'm gonna give you the rock and roll, man. Appreciate you for that $100, man. That's what's happening. But let's go ahead and answer some of these questions that have been presented. Let me see. You're the realest ice cold uncle that I know. We appreciate. Hey, man, I appreciate you too, baby. Appreciate you. Good looking out. Rich Turner, my homeboy from the Dallas. Yeah, shout out. Trump said the American healthcare system isn't set up for an ER to be filled with Haitian immigrants. Ooh, drunk off rum and dirt cookies. Bro, come on, Rich Turner. Why you just say that? I'm not going to even. You cold for that, bro. You're cold for that. See, that's why they call us mean, man. Shout out to Penny Ford. I appreciate it. There's no outrage because they're too busy hating on Trump. Some folks are still hating hard. They sure are. Shout out to, we got 36 super chat. We might get to 40. We might get to 40 super chat. Cody Marshall, good looking out. Thank you so much. Oh, before I leave, tomorrow in my broadcast, I'm going to talk about the environment that we live in. Okay, before I forget, we're entering into a racially charged environment, and I want to talk about that. And I especially want to talk to you ladies, okay, and those who would otherwise be vulnerable. I want you to make sure you come back tomorrow. I'm gonna try to get on at 7 in the evening so I can go to sleep, because I got to go to court on Monday morning. I got stuff to do. I can't be up here playing with y'all all night, okay, talking about these things. But what I am going to do is I will be tomorrow. We're going to talk. So y'all make sure y'all come back. We're going to talk about some real life stuff. It's nothing we haven't been through before as a people, but we're entering into an intense time period. Whether you voted for Donald Trump or not, acknowledge the fact that his being the president has basically put a green light on open bigotry and racism and overt racism. And it's just something you got to understand. This is part of our culture. This is why we have the culture that we have. So y'all make sure y'all come in tomorrow and hang out with me so we can discuss that in some serious detail. So, you know, make sure if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'm gonna give you some historical things to think about and how our people have dealt with these things in the past. You know what I mean? I don't really invent much new. I just basically put it in context so y'all can understand. Do y'all like my flower? That's what I want to understand. It's a good thing for me. I've been wearing these little flowers instead of my you ladies like the flowers. That a good look. And brings out the color in my face. Praise God. Y'all see I got this fresh haircut. But anyway, let's get back to my man Cody Marsh. He said 500,000 Haitians got the Negro wake-up call. They sure did. All they thought they had to do was work hard. Somebody type work hard in the chat room. Black saying let them be hostile. They have plane trains to fix their problems. They should have paid their tribute to our FBA culture. Goodbye. Not bad. Yeah, most black people are not upset that these folk are being sent home, even though they are black. Black saying government pays money to promote their alien families while our babies' feet never hit the ground. We are tired of it. We have to protect our black babies. Hey, this is how black folks feel. Mercer Panama, thanks for everything you do. Thank you, fam. Ghani G, $10 super sticker. Ida Cherry, thank you for the $5 super sticker. TRQS, Unc, have you seen these likes? These likes are disrespectful. Yeah, man, get my likes up, man. Stop playing with me. Get my like. Let me see this real quick. Let me take a look at what y'all doing out here. Let me see something. Hold on a minute. Like, okay. I think we all right though. We about 600 short. Y'all should hit the like button. Don't disrespect my like game. Help me get my like game up, family. Y'all wrong for that. 1,200. Yeah, hit the like button. Don't do that to me. And also subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna start doing like these other people do. Make y'all, if you want to talk, you gotta subscribe. But anyway, thank you so much, TIQS. Black Sands. Here's me taking care of my own. Everybody not a citizen. Get the hell out. We built the foundation, the Statue of Liberty. You need to go. I wouldn't mind they staying if they were helpful. And all this disrespect is a problem I have. But anyway, thank you so much. Black Sand, their presence has diminished us in our movement. Thank you so much. Johnny Harris, me no black, me no black, but me work harder. Yeah, work harder. That's right. Beat Tinsdale. Karen knows FBAs don't eat cats and drive on the wrong side of the street. Boy, y'all are ugly on the inside tonight. Everybody are just being ugly. But anyway, all they have to do is leave or send their recipes, tacos, jerk chicken, all in it. That's all we need. We'll carry on the fight, cooking their food. I do like some oxtail stuff. But I look, let me tell you, shout out to all you Jamaicans. Look, let me run this back to you. On an individual basis, it's some cool people out there that I love, man. I love y'all. And I'm sure some black folk out here. Look, on an individual basis, cool. But on the group dynamics, some of y'all have been really crappy to foundational Black Americans. So you cannot expect them as a group to come out and say, hey, let's support them as a group. Some folk are like, nah, they be low-key disrespectful and racist towards us with the intra-racist. Come on, man. And that's what you're getting right now, okay? But anyway, we got Miss Elaine. Thank you so much. America's not for everybody. It sure isn't. Thank you, girl. Penny Ford. A big problem is the FBAs that fight for them to be in America when it's to our detriment. They probably cast a big spell, but it didn't get me. Even in Europe, they know the difference. Yeah. For the most part, Black Americans around the world are distinguished. I've actually spoken with, they know the difference. I mean, you don't think we know the difference, but they know the difference between us, and that's good and bad, you know, but Black Americans are distinct. We have a reputation already that precedes us. We're the most famous group, most influential group of Africans on the planet. It just is what it is. And you heard what the fella said, they acknowledge, they grew up idolizing us. It's just the jealousy, okay, that has them being disrespectful. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue. Stuart Gully, the ball jar is killing me. The ball, you mean this right here, man? That's right, man. The jelly jar, man. I need that, man. I get enough water. What y'all, I don't want to be up in here drinking these late night drinks and stuff like that. I wouldn't be sleeping at all. So I drink my jelly jar full of water. But shout out to Siri Gatekeeper, $10 super sticker, B Tinsdale. He said, any Haitians in the chat arguing with us won't keep you from being deported. Oh yeah, I'm not the one you want to argue with. Go argue with Uncle Sam. That's who you argue with. Uncle D ain't had nothing to do with it. All right, well, technically I did vote for Trump because I was interested in saving my money, but nevertheless, we'll talk about that another time. Shout out to DT with the 3, Black Sand with the 199. Oh, we got 37 super chats. Hey man, we might get there. Shout out to that. Maybe we can get to 40. That'll be sporty. But only if you learn something, man. Only if you learn something. Haitian made crisis. Haitian fixes themselves. Yeah. Stop blaming everybody else for your gang problem and the men over there doing those horrible things to those little girls. I read that article today in the Miami Herald, and I'm like, oh, this is their problem. This is not a international. You keep talking about these earthquakes. Earthquakes happen all the time. Y'all have a penis problem over there, and the men over there can't control their penises. And they keep doing things with their penises to the women and the girls over there, and that's your problem. That's what you need to get under control, fellas. That's your problem. That's your problem right there, and it makes sense. It's miscellaneous. It's a degenerate culture. That's what it is. That's horrible. No amount of money is going to fix that. Shoot. Black saying, go make Haiti great again. Time for us to go. Thank you so much. Pam C, we stand on truths. That's why we are free. They something on self be true. Oh, to thine self be true. That's right. Thank you, Pam C. Black saying, N-word invokes fight or flight, and everybody wants to use it and then cry about the results. Fat Joe showed us, yeah, he needed to go on somewhere with his sad self. William Johnson said, FBA fought all awards, African booty scratcher. Y'all something else, man. C. Darden says, great show, FBA's How to Get in the Dirt. Whites terrorize us for 400 years. I wish we had our own country like, hey, man, if foundational Black Americans had our own country and our own, with the culture that we have, man, it would be outstanding. It would literally be a Wakanda. That's why they make it so hard for us to leave this country. Imagine if we just began to go off. We would dominate wherever we are. It is what it is, because the women are strong and the men are strong. There's no deficit, there's no weakness in our kids are strong. There's no weakness in our people. We have been literally hardened in the fires. We're the diamond people on this planet. We're the toughest people on this planet. That's why you drop us off anywhere and we win. I'm just saying, look at the evidence. Look at our history. Look at what we do. When they get even with their feet on our neck, look what we do. We got our own people from overseas talking reckless about us, trying to victimize us. And look at what we done. We are truly a blessed people. We are the diamond people. We the hardest on this planet. Shout out to Penny Ford. Throw a banana peels on the soccer fields here in Europe because of dark. Yes, they do. Yes, they do, baby. Yes, they do. These are crying and quitting and losing $100 million contracts behind that. That's something that foundational Black Americans had to do all the time. They wasn't just throwing them on the field. Of other football players and basketball players and baseball players used to hurl racial epithets at our greats. So keep that in mind. But 38 super chats, we getting there. We might get to 40. We got 38, and that's great. Shout out to C. Dart. If the white man had just dropped all the FBAs out on the island after setting us free, but we would not be who we are but for the conditions that we're suffering. That's what I need you to understand. We are hard, and that culture is reinforced, and we continue to go and we continue to prosper because of that culture. It's the conditions that we live under that force us to be great. And I hate it's like that. We dealing with hard times, and that's just makes us rise to the occasion. So keep that in mind. All right, Liliana learned something. That's what's up, baby. Thank you so much. I'm glad you learned something. Makida asks, we resting. Thanks, Unc D. Let them know. I'm gonna let them know. Tootie 456 Truth and nothing but the truth. Amen. William Johnson, new member. Welcome to the membership. Yeah, Penny Ford, big Black man, blank, getting us all in trouble. That's why we mad. LOL, they can't stop that thing. Yeah, shout out to you, baby girl. Dakota Rusum, thank you for the $5 super sticker. Who else we got up here? Praying for, and Alicia, thank you so much. Dennis on fire. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And Armand is angry. Thank you so much. All right. So we got, how many did we get in? We got 38 super chats. That's awesome. Shout out to everybody who contributed to the super chats. I appreciate you guys. Again, I don't ask people to donate anything. All I'm asking you to do is pay for the lesson. If you learn something, great. If you didn't learn, fine. But if you learn, I should earn. That's where I'm at. I'm not begging for anything, man. But anyway, here's the thing. I wanna give y'all a little something to go with. Is that okay? Can I give y'all a little something to go with? I think it's necessary. So to all the foreigners from all the diaspora who's listening to, it's not that we hate you, okay? I don't hate anybody. I got some wonderful friends that I love tremendously. You see what I mean? I do. I mean, I truly do. In fact, I found out about 10 years ago that I have some strong Caribbean roots. You understand? And I tell people this all the time. I discovered that my mother and my father were not my true, well, my father, Mr. Dennis F. Sperling, wasn't my biological father, even though he was there when I was born. He cut the umbilical cord, brought me out, et cetera, et cetera. So that's who I acknowledge as my father. But, you know, nevertheless, the person who is my biological father is a man from the Caribbean, a black man, dark-skinned black man from the Caribbean, speaks with the accent and everything. I met him a few times, cool guy, talk to him every now and then, cool guy. So I don't hate our Caribbean brothers. I acknowledge us, especially the Caribbean folk, I acknowledge us as having the same struggle, so to speak. The problem that we have is when y'all come over here, y'all want to act brand new. You see, I am inundated in foundational Black American culture. The only family I truly acknowledge is the ones from Mississippi. Those are the ones that raised me. You see what I'm saying? And they made me strong. They made me tough. So culturally, I am a foundational Black American. I am a descendant of African enslaved people here in the United States. My roots go back 200-300 years. I've done the research myself. And I love myself and I love my people. And that's why I'm so dedicated to my people. Okay? But, you know, just like you all are dedicated, you don't want us coming to Haiti talking reckless about you all. But yet you got to come over here and talk reckless about us. You understand what I'm saying? That is not cool. Okay? And here's the cold part about it. I'm going to just jump back on you Haitians right quick, because I've been spreading this out. I've been passing this around to everybody, because all of y'all need to get this. For you Haitians, all that Haitian pride, all that chest pounding about the Haitian Revolution for all these years, blaming foreign intervention and colonialism and imperialism. And there's only one undeniable truth, okay? Haitian men have failed their women. That's the truth. And that's it. You have failed your women. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says a nation can only rise as high as the more aptitude of his women. And as long as you are graping them and having sex with them unwanted and destroying their bodies, they ain't gonna raise up. They're gonna raise another group just like you. A bunch of hooligans and thugs and criminals that's running across the countryside. That's what's gonna happen. That's what you're doing. You're all over here, and to the women, you raise these dudes, Haitian women, whether you in Haiti or here, you raise these men. So you can get some of this too. Black Americans have a lot of issues, but that ain't one. We got some of the most over-empowered women in the whole world that has ever existed, and they will tell you, I don't even need a man. That's how empowered they are. Shout out to Yaya. We got 40. That's 40. Nevertheless, while you over here crying to the world that your country is in ruins, that it's unsafe, that you need protection, what you really saying is that you're too weak to protect your mothers, your wives, your sisters, and your daughters. Because let's be clear, no country can call itself strong when its women live in terror. Now, let me explain something to you about foundational Black American men, something that you could learn from us, if you know, so you can stop making excuses and start being responsible. We have always stood for our women. When we were freed after the Civil War, black men who had been sold off or went off to war, they didn't run away and escape. We didn't go to Canada. We literally walked throughout the South, searching for our wives and our children and our families that had been torn apart during slavery. We then took those same folk and we built schools, homes, communities, churches, universities, and we made sure that our daughters had a future. There was a time when you were either going to be a teacher, a preacher, or an undertaker, and we made sure that our daughters went to school. That's why you got so many teaching colleges in the Midwest and up north, because we would send our daughters out of the Deep South and send them up north, and the fathers would make their sons stay on the plantation and work and send his little girls up so she could be safe, because we wanted to make sure our daughters had a future, even though white supremacy tried to burn it all down. We never abandoned our women. We never left our daughters to fend for themselves. We never turned our backs on our women. We carried us. Look. They carried us. Through the centuries of struggle, she might have been the only one who could talk to master and keep him from beating you or getting you whooped. So we carried them. We never forgot that. I don't care how much you see us fussing at each other and arguing. We just bagging on each other. You're no good, Dusty. Somebody type Dusty in the chat. You're dusty and your weave is not even looking like the hair to grow out your hair. Well, you dusty, blah, blah. That's what we do. But you see how we voted. Not me, but you see how the nice black people voted. They tried to keep y'all butts here. 86% of black folk voted for Kamala Harris with a not black self. You know we ain't racist against Jamaicans because, I mean, clearly she's a Jamaican or whatever she is. So it's not that we anti-Caribbean. Nevertheless, we on the same page with our dusty, musty selves. All of us are Katas. You would think we were at war. The way we talk about each other, but you see we come together when it's time. That's what our culture teaches us. Not me. Again, I was more interested in my money, so that's why I voted for Trump. But don't worry about me. Don't worry about, I'm on some different, I got to get my money up. Yeah, I got all these kids to take care of. But anyway, boy going to college, they like to ride around in Mercedes-Benz. These are some expensive kids. I'm going to trade these kids in. You know, I'm going to get some cheaper kids soon. But anyway, nevertheless, I want to talk to you a little bit about some of us, what galvanized us, this whole civil rights movement, what really brought it through. There's an incident called the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing. Okay? Do you know that's what finally pushed the civil rights movement into overdrive? Not them doggone protests, not the Rosa Parks, not all these speeches, not those marches. It was 4 little black girls who were blown to pieces by some white racist supremacists in Birmingham, Alabama on September 15, 1963. It was a terror attack at 16th Street Baptist Church. The name of the girls, Addie Mae Collins, 14. Cynthia Wesley, 14. Carol Robinson, 14. Denise McNair, 11 years old. They were unalive while getting ready for Sunday service. They were down in the basement. And that was the breaking point for black men across America. That attack shattered the illusion that waiting and hoping would change anything. It ignited a new level of resolve in the whole black community. Black men knew that they could no longer afford to wait for white folk to grant them the dignity that they deserve. They knew they had to take it. And so what happened? After the Civil Rights Act of 1964, they pushed Congress with renewed urgency. More black men stepped up to organize and fight and demand justice. The Black Panther Party, Malcolm X, and the militant resistance movement, that's when it gained traction. Why? Because no man of integrity sits back and watches his daughters be slaughtered without a fight. You don't have women in your nation, you don't have a nation. You don't have strong men, the nation doesn't rise. It works hand in hand. My question is, where is that energy in Haiti? With all your culture, your superior culture, where is that same energy? Where is the outrage when your daughters are being raped and displaced in camps? Where's that militant urgency when your mothers are being brutalized by gangs in Port-au-Prince? Where is that commitment to fight when your wives are being forced into survival prostitution for a handful of food? The truth is you don't have it. Instead, you fled to the United States, begging for protection, crying that your country is unsafe while you leave your women and children to suffer. Look, Black American men have stayed and protected our women. Why haven't you? See, the only reason the foundational Black American men have not left the United States, despite centuries of racism and lynching and police brutality and systematic oppression, is because we stayed to support and uplift and protect our women. Even our GIs will go all the way around the world and they'll come right back. And we did that for centuries. Not a day goes by that a Black athlete doesn't find success, and the first thing he do is give a shout out to his mama. The late, great Johnny Cochran, the person that I personally look up to, met him once at the Southern University Law Center in Baton Rouge when I was a young law student. Brilliant legal mind, one of the most brilliant legal minds in America. He boasted in his book that he spoke to his mama every day. FBA men, foundational Black American men, we uplift Black women because we know that if we fall, our entire communities fall. Yes, Black women are difficult. Lord knows they're difficult. They might hit you. They're going to call you names. They're going to constantly test your Black behind. They'll punk you if you let them. And it's because they had to be strong, and so they're making you strong. Because the world tried to break them, and they know the world's going to try to break you. And you can't do nothing but respect that when you truly understand the culture. Half the people don't understand the culture. And that's why they don't recognize what the women are doing. The women pass the culture down, and what they're doing is making you strong. Part of Black American culture is strength. Nevertheless, we respect them, we protect them, and we fight for them because it's worth it. Even we don't like each other sometimes. Meanwhile, you got these Haitian men with their own country. You got your whole own country, and you've allowed your women, these little Black Haitian girls and little Haitian women, your children, your Black mothers, your Haitian mother, because you say you're not Black, so your Haitian mothers and Haitian grandmothers, to be preyed upon in your own country. Instead of fighting back, you hopped on a boat and fled. Now, you all love to act all macho. Shout out to the truth. You love to beat on your chest. You love to pretend that you're strong and fearless and you come from this culture. That's that Latino-inspired fake patriarchal bravado. It's all fake. It's that cowardice wrapped in bravado. Floyd Mayweather showed us how that bravado folds up when a real Black man hits the ring. Made you fold up like a chair over and over again. Shout out to Floyd, Money Mayweather. All that bravado. It's just cowardice. It's cowardice wrapped in bravado, because a real man don't run while his daughters are being raped. A real man doesn't abandon his homeland and flee while his mother and his grandmothers are being slaughtered. Real men don't beg another country for help while his country burns because of gang members. You Haitians love to blame imperial powers, but the truth is America and France are not your problem. Haitian men are your problem. Your problem isn't outside forces. It's the fact that you refuse to fight for your own country. Your problem isn't foreign intervention. It's that you would rather beg for foreign aid than take responsibility for yourself. Haiti's not suffering because of what white people did 250 years ago. It's suffering because Haitian men have picked up arms and they are walking around the countryside using force and using sex as a weapon of mass destruction. And what needs to happen is you real Haitian men need to step up and reclaim your country. Stop relying on America. Stop blaming imperial powers and stop making excuses. No real nation relies on foreign handouts to survive. No real men allow their women to be brutalized while they flee to another country. No strong culture allows its daughters to be sold into survival prostitution while its men do nothing. If you want respect, if you want dignity, if you want to rebuild Haiti, then start by protecting your own women. Until then, don't ask America for anything because we don't respect men who won't even fight for their own mothers. In the meantime, you got to go. You see you later. Y'all gonna get deported. Shout out to everybody who came through. In the meantime, I appreciate you. Ain't got to like what I'm saying, but it's the truth. Now y'all need now that said, on behalf of all the foundation Black American folk, keep our name out your mouth. This is Uncle D. I love you, and as I always say, I'm out.
Dennis Squirrel.
In the city where the lights don't sleep, Uncle D got the vibe so deep. Representing men strong and free. Dennis Squirrel is the king of the spree. In the streets where the rhythm flows, Black men rising, that's how it goes. Uncle D got the truth to show. In his heart, that's where the fire glows. Late night tuning, light up the stream. Dennis Squirrel in wisdom gleam. Voices whisper truth and an insight. In his podcast, feel the light. Harmony in every word. Truth and laughter you've heard. That's all right. Wave after wave of smooth delight. Dennis brings the dark to light. That's the blizzard, baby! Share the tales unfold. The stories pour like morning gold. Feeling the wisdom inside me. Subscribing like time after time.
Black men, black men, black men. I want to salute you. Your incarceration rate is down. The education rate is up. We up. We went from, we are doing great for ourselves. So you should salute yourself. Shout out to all the brothers out there, whether you're a truck driver or engineer, whether you're an electrician or garbage man, a doctor, a lawyer, if you're a hard-working brother, if you fresh out the penitentiary, but you on your grind and you doing it legal and you trying to make amends for yourself, man, I salute you too, brothers. God bless you. This is Uncle D, and you know, I'm out.